Good morning, everyone.
That's the Medicaid Planning Workshop, where you will learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. You will learn how to avoid spending down your assets and avoid nursing home seizure of your assets, and much, much more. The Revocable Living Trust Workshop is
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing
Oh man, what'd you guys think of that Veritas release? Oh my goodness.
The IRS. The workshops
I know, it's
are
tough,
free,
crazy
but
stuff.
seating is limited, so please call Attorney Barry Siegel's office for a reservation. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782. The Courtyard by Marriott is on Glades Road in Boca, just west of I-95, on the north side of Glades Road. The Medicaid Planning Workshop is at 10. The Revocable Living Trust Workshop is at 2. Call Barry Siegel's office right now and make your reservation to these.
Here's something you won't see. You don't see anymore. Look at this. Cassette tape. Cassette tape, old shows from over 20 years ago. Yeah, I know. I've got boxes of cassette tapes of old shows. Now everything's archived on YouTube.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays.
Welcome. Subscribe on YouTube. Here we go. Oh, what's today? Is today the 15th?
To call the show toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE.
All righty. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. That's right. That's what makes this the longest-running radio show in Florida, The Steve Kane Show. This is also the most pro-Trump radio show in America, equal in its support of Trump to the most pro-Trump podcast in America, the Brian Craig Show podcast, a show I do separate and apart from this on most podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, the Brian Craig Show podcast. Make sure you check that out and subscribe, and watch us live stream each and every day on the radio on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig. Brian Craig on YouTube. Watch me right now. Hey, guys, I'm waving at you. Good morning. So much going. What a great day. Bad day if you're in the news business. Bad day if you're at CNN. Bad day if you're at ABC. Oh, man, Project Veritas, that ABC video, we'll talk about that. And then I found out when I woke up this morning, my wife was still up. What are you doing up? She was up. And my wife told me something she saw last night. I couldn't believe this. Megyn Kelly is going to be interviewed by Tucker Carlson this week. And, of course, he has her old show that she took over from Bill O'Reilly. So what's that about? Is Megyn Kelly coming back to Fox News? She very well may be coming back to Fox News. She's coming back this week in the form of an interview with Tucker Carlson. And that might be, having Megyn Kelly on Tucker Carlson this week might be a test as to ratings and audience reaction to her appearance. And I would say that they are considering bringing her back to Fox News and probably putting her on in Shepard Smith's slot that he just vacated because he couldn't take the heat. So I got to tell you, I don't like her. I used to like Megyn Kelly, and then she got full of herself, like a lot of these people do. And when she got full of herself, you saw what she did. And, so I'm telling you, that's what that is about this week. I wonder what Tucker really thinks about that, because he's in her old time slot, and people in a business like that are incredibly paranoid. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is, whew. She couldn't bring down Shepard Smith because he's gay. She went after all these straight guys like Roger Ailes that were doing all kinds of terrible things, but her female powers don't work on Shepard Smith. He's not into you. He's playing for the other team. So I don't know. I would not like it if Megyn Kelly came back to Fox, but you know what? I'm not watching it that much. Very little am I watching Fox News. So Project Veritas yesterday, oh my goodness. That was the best. And the media reaction, very light on it. And what little I saw on Fox, I didn't see a lot of Fox yesterday. I didn't see any of the primetime Fox last night. So you all could tell me what their take was on it. I would imagine they were right on the money with it. But during the day, Fox News did what the rest of the media did during the day, and that was ignore this incredible news drop from James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, and I kind of planned my day yesterday. Well, not kind of. I did. I planned my schedule yesterday for the Project Veritas expose on CNN to drop, and I about 5 minutes to noontime, I stopped everything I was doing. I got in front of the TV, pulled up YouTube, and it took them a long time to get the video up. But for about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, I was pretty much just constantly refreshing the Project Veritas YouTube channel and checking Twitter. And it was up about 90 minutes or so behind schedule. But sometimes it takes a little time to get things up. Yeah, they got another video today. And yesterday's video was spectacular. What they got from that Zucker yesterday was, I mean, it was astounding. And I know what this is what the narrative is from a lot of people. No, there's nothing there that we didn't know. We knew all this stuff. We knew. There's a difference between knowing and hearing the guilty party confess. And what we saw from lower level CNN people yesterday that work on these big name shows, and heard from the mouth of Jeff Zucker, the head of CNN, in that conference call, didn't just confirm what we knew. Oh, we knew that. Oh, well, we knew it. Nothing to see here. That is so wrong. The news was exposed yesterday. We'll get to ABC in a bit. CNN was completely exposed, and I bet you after yesterday, they're pretty nervous. Now, the only thing I think they made a mistake with at Project Veritas, I like what I'm seeing. Please don't miss it. In Monday morning quarterbacking is so easy to do. I would have kept the identity of this whistleblower at CNN secret until the last video, because there's a series of videos. And James O'Keefe always releases and builds up, and then you get the big one at the end. I would have revealed him at the end. And the reason I would have done that is the mystery around who the whistleblower is would cause more paranoia over at CNN. And with paranoia comes anxiety. And with anxiety comes reactions that are not made with the best judgment. And I think it would have put them through it a little bit better if they didn't know who it was, because a lot of I don't really know how connected he was to any of the big players. Okay? And if you're a big player and this guy was nowhere near you, you're not worried anymore. Maybe. They're still paranoid and worried, but you're not, that's what I would have done. I mean, hey, James O'Keefe's a great man. I mean, he's a great journalist, an incredible investigative journalist. And I don't want to. Please don't misunderstand me as this being criticism for James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, because it is not. They do miraculous work. I mean, they're amazing from Acorn to this. But the mystery would have just caused so much paranoia over at CNN, and that paranoia would have been turned into a search for the whistleblower. They should have hidden him and also altered his voice until the big reveal in the end. There would have been so much panic, so much paranoia at CNN if they didn't know who the guy was. Oh man. So anyway, I mean, maybe I just want them to suffer a little bit there. And one thing I was unclear about in the video, what bureau this guy works at. I know it's not New York, because he had mentioned Zucker at in New York. So I don't know if he is in this whistleblower. I don't know if he is from Atlanta or D.C. Well, someone's telling me D.C. Well, that's good, because there's some of the big players in D.C. So at least he's got access to some of the big players and those who work on the big players' shows. And I was very shocked. The whistleblower, he has a wife, and it sounded as if he's got a child on the way. And that's either brave or stupid. I mean, how many of you would do something like that if you have a baby on the way? Because he's going to have a difficult time getting any jobs in the media now, unless, Project Veritas or Breitbart or the Daily Caller or something hire him, or maybe Tucker Carlson could hire him over on his show on Fox. I don't know. But to have a baby on the way and do that, I don't know if that's brave or if that's stupid. But I'm glad he did it, and I can't wait for these others and these things that have trickled out since that first release. They've been letting out these teases on race. That's good. I mean, this is good stuff, and it needs to be done. And James O'Keefe don't hate the media. I don't hate the media. I love them. I'm in a media for myself: radio, internet, YouTube, podcasting. I'm on so many different platforms: internet radio, apps, terrestrial radio, AM, FM. We're on a lot of media platforms. So, I love media. But what's happened here is media is no longer what it claims to be in some instances. You're either a talk show or you're news. You can't be both. And that phone call with Zucker was absolutely amazing. So after the first break, I'll get into that. And your calls and thoughts on the Project Veritas CNN expose certainly are welcome. Give me a call live on the air, no matter where you are listening to this program, whether you're here in South Florida or throughout America or the world, watching us on a live stream or listening on an app or some other form. Give us a call. Toll-free call, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's the number 1, and Kane spelled with a K, K-A-N-E, 888-GO-CANE-1. And numerically, 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is
true. They're only going to get worse.
You need expert professional help.
Indeed. Welcome. Make sure you guys subscribe if you don't mind.
I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325.
Welcome. Is everyone, if you're not subscribed, subscribe and like the video as well.
If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need.
Yes, please. What both numbers?
Every option from intervention to
the number I gave is the same. 888-465-2631 is 888-GO-CANE-1.
As well as group
32. I have a typo.
It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the
typos.
Edge Recovery
I live stream on my phone, so
call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today.
I'll see if I can change it while I'm on here.
523
It happens. Well,
Again,
I'm giving it to you orally.
Cell phone 561-523-4325.
Hello, my name is Todd Shallett, Florida licensed and bonded.
I don't know if I can change it while I'm on air.
I work for
Let me see.
Veritas Incorporated. I'm the founder, and I've been working since 1993 as your public adjuster. Veritas Incorporated has helped thousands of homeowners get tens of millions of dollars more than what their insurance companies paid them. We offer a second opinion on your claim. If you suffer damage from Hurricane Matthew, Irma, or Michael, it's not too late to get a second opinion and get the money that you deserve to get your house back in shape again. I'm sure you'll agree that you want to work with someone that has experience in this industry. I've been doing this since 1993, and our service is very valuable because if we don't get you any additional funds, there's no charge for what we do. Write this number down, 877-644-LOSS. That's 877-644-56.
I don't think I can change it till after the show.
If you have a loss, call Ameriloss. One of our adjusters are standing by to make that valuable appointment with you. You deserve to get a second opinion. We work for you, not the insurance company. Call right now. 877-644-LOSS.
Oh, yeah, well, is that how you found me from the Shepard Smith show?
Hear that? That's the clock ticking till the Steve Kane cruise sets sail on November 8th for 6 days of fun in the sun.
That's
There's
right.
still time to join us. First stop, Cayman Islands, then Costa Maya, where we visit the Mayan ruins together, then Cozumel with the most beautiful beaches anywhere. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot and join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, on the Steve Kane Cruise. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779.
I can't update it until after the show. Or at least I can't figure out how to do it right now.
Just search for WW.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah, that's Steve Kane Cruise. I'm really looking forward to that. 6 days with about 100 of our loyal listeners. There's still some cabins left on the ship. People have still been booking, actually, over this last week. We've had bookings over this last week as the clock is ticking. Call Ian over at Cruise and Travel Depot and join us for 6 days. First stop, Cayman Islands, Costa Maya, Cozumel, and then back to Fort Lauderdale on the Celebrity Silhouette. We're going to have a great time. If you've already made reservations and are joining us, call Ian, if you haven't already, to join us on our excursion to the Mayan ruins in Costa Maya. Yeah, we're going to visit those Mayan ruins. My wife got me this big Trump 2020 flag, and I told my wife I was going to take that flag, that Trump 2020 flag, climb to the top of the pyramid at the Mayan ruins and hold it above my head. And she said, that's not a good idea. You're in Mexico. So I'm not going to do that, but but you're all invited. We're going to have a great time. Call Ian, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, November 8th. That's when we leave in the afternoon, around 4 in the afternoon. The ship sets sail. We're going to have a great time. And all of you are invited except Al the John. Liberal Al the John is not invited. Lots of great activities together as well. Ian will go through the whole itinerary with you when you call. Okay, so this Project Veritas CNN Whistleblower was just absolutely amazing yesterday. Absolutely amazing. And this call with Jeff Zucker tells you everything. It confirms everything about CNN. In fact, Zucker, the board of directors should remove him. They should remove him immediately, at least suspend him during a review. You know, he is taking the role as an editor-in-chief, okay? He's taking the role as an editor-in-chief at CNN. If you had a newspaper, right, he'd be like Perry White. And when you are, what that phone call is about, that's what typically is considered the pitch meeting. And what happens in a newsroom is not what you heard with Zucker. Well, I guess it's what you hear in the CNN newsroom, but what you're supposed to hear is this. The news, the people that work in news, they're in the room. It can be a conference call with the editor-in-chief, the president, the whatever it is. And the boss talks to them about the stories of the day. Okay, U.S. pull out of Syria. What do we know about that? You get working on that. What's going on? White cop shot a black woman who was unarmed in her own home. You're on that. Go investigate that. What happened? Why was he in the home? You know, this is what you do, right? Jane Fonda was arrested. Barbarella, go check. What does she do? What's Grandma Fonda doing in Washington getting arrested? Does she have a movie coming? Why would she all of a sudden inject herself into this? You know, there's all that's how that type of meeting typically works. Steve and I have discussions like that. We'll talk. It's on the phone, you know, in the morning after I've done show prep, and he's went through the news, and we're talking, and we'll talk to each other about what stories we have. He'll say, "What you got?" And I'll tell him, "It's like, well, what do you got?" And he'll tell me what he's got, and we'll, you know, talk about stories and subjects we're going to talk about on the air. That is not what Zucker did. What Zucker did is said there is only one thing that will be, he didn't even use story. There is only one thing to talk about on CNN, not news coverage. It's impeachment. Everything's about impeachment. I don't care what MSNBC is doing. We're doing impeachment. We're doing impeachment all day, every day. That's what it's about. That's the narrative. And did you notice he was also upset that some people are friends with Lindsey Graham? He says that ends. No more friends with Lindsey Graham. Did you see that? That right there shows you he is not a newsman, a news organization. It is all fake news. It is an agenda with the brand, with the name news on it, but it's not news. And that was a very, very revealing phone call. He should be out. And everyone that he caught on the hidden camera who works at CNN says he has a personal vendetta against Trump. So you've got this egomaniac who probably has the smallest penis on record, okay, because he's got a lot of insecurity. Zucker seems to have a lot of insecurity issues. So usually with insecurity issues, isn't that, ladies, isn't that what a lot of men with insecurities, is their penis small, typically? And he wakes up in the morning, gets on the phone, and since he hates, he's consumed with his hatred of Trump, it's an obsession with him. So he gets on the phone and tells them how they are supposed to try to screw Trump that day. And that's what they do because he's the boss. I have not seen journalism so fake ever. That ABC thing's different. We'll talk about that. That's fake news too. We'll talk about that too. It's similar. You know, CNN is a brand. And believe it or not, so many people, that's where they get their news, CNN. Right? It's at every airport. It's on every cable system. And that's the way it is. And they think what they are seeing is news, and it is not news. Now, the one thing Project Veritas brought out in that whistleblower video yesterday is that the rank and file over at CNN there's a lot of them that are upset. It doesn't mean they're conservative or they like Trump. They may hate Trump, but they're not covering news. They're not doing news stories. All they're doing is trying to have, trying to undermine President Trump and get him thrown out of office. That's all they're doing. And the most of the people on the hidden camera seem to be very, very upset. And yeah, you know, and I'm very happy with Project Veritas yesterday. I really am, because there was so much hype leading up to it. I was talking about this on the air yesterday. There was so much hype leading up to this CNN whistleblower that I thought, well, it's being hyped up so much. How is it going to live up to the hype? And then they were about 90 minutes late uploading it online. And I was like, oh my goodness, they're losing momentum. It's been hyped up. And then when I saw it, the whole 19 and whatever minute long video, I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. And also keeping in mind that O'Keefe starts with the least and builds and builds and builds to have a grand finale. So I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. And anyone who works in that building where this whistleblower worked or had any contact with it must be totally paranoid right now at what they may have said and what people that work around them may have said. Oh, yeah. I would think they're in some trouble. And I do know Hannity. I didn't see Hannity last night, but I saw this online. With Hannity last night, he was talking about Brian Stelter. And no word on this. And, of course, Brian Stelter did comment on this fake news wag the dog situation from ABC News, which I'll get to in a bit. But I'm glad that Hannity did that, and he talked about the self-righteousness of Brian Stelter. There is a lot of that, isn't there, when he's analyzing news and media and personalities, and there take a lot of self-righteousness from Brian Stelter. And then this exposure came out. Wow. I mean, you know, MSNBC, Lawrence O'Donnell, who's a creep. All right? Lawrence O'Donnell's a real creep. Who's that pasty guy that's on at 8? Chris Hayes. I meant to say Chris Hayes. He's a creep too, Chris Hayes. Chris Hayes? Was it Chris Hayes last night that was criticizing NBC for their handling of Matt Lauer? That's, you know, a little late, but at least there's somebody on their air doing it. And I really think CNN owes it to their viewers to properly address this. You know, at the corporate level of CNN, above Zucker, there should be an independent review of him, of Zucker, his management style, and how he's running CNN. Because what we heard on that phone call yesterday was malpractice. It's beyond fake news. It's a fraud. They didn't discuss one story. In fact, even when Zucker was talking about them, he wasn't going into any specific updates into the impeachment fantasy that the liberals have. He didn't even have a specific, today there was an update on this impeachment. He said, that's just go out there and it's impeachment, impeachment, impeachment. Because, he wants to bring down Trump because he has some petty conflict. Now, I would like the president to tell us what he thinks the petty conflict is about, because the only thing I know about Zucker and his connection to Donald Trump is that thanks to Donald Trump's incredible success with The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice, Zucker, his career was elevated huge, big time, and he's where he is today because of The Apprentice. So I don't know why he hates Trump. There must be some very petty personal slight. Does anyone know? Has President Trump, I know that he's talked about Zucker, but I haven't heard the president mention on any occasion what the specific petty gripe Zucker has with him. I don't know what it is, but the people at CNN says he hates Trump. Something happened. They worked on The Apprentice, but they didn't say what it was, why he hates Trump. And I'd like to know. Trump made his career. He would not be running CNN if it were not for President Trump, because Zucker got to take a lot of the credit at NBC for the success of The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, well, we'll find out. And I'm really looking forward to the next release from Project Veritas. All right, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Indeed it is. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
This is Brian Craig with a huge announcement from MyPillow. Right now, at MyPillow.com, you can get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. If you go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the new radio listener specials, make sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for all of these incredible deals. I sleep on a MyPillow. My wife sleeps on a MyPillow. My daughter Emily sleeps on a MyPillow. Even my dog Nina is sleeping on her MyPillow pet bed. The discounts include buy one MyPillow, get the second for free. The Giza Dream Sheets, the mattress topper, the MyPillow dog bed, the MyPillow body pillow.
Welcome. Make sure you subscribe, everyone.
But you got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. All MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the new radio listener specials and get these huge discounts on all MyPillow products when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879.
Oh boy, I tell you.
For these incredible radio special deals. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click the new radio listener specials and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
This is Roger Simon, reverse mortgage specialist at South Florida's Choice Mortgage Bank. I've found that reverse mortgages can be a very valuable financial vehicle for seniors. I truly change their lives for the better. In fact, I have a reverse mortgage myself, and it's certainly improved my life. Everyone's situation, of course, is different, but I've found over and over that a reverse mortgage can solve many of a senior's financial problems. It's a valuable tool to allow you to age in place. And if you're a senior like me, that's a primary goal. By aging in place, you mean that you're financially able to stay in the home you love for the rest of your life.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, people. My YouTube channel is starting to really pick up, and that's thanks to all of you good people. It's very hard, you know, for a conservative channel to grow. I have hundreds of videos.
2730. That's 561-441-2730. I look forward to hearing from you.
Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166254. Attorney Barry Siegel invites you to his Medicaid and revocable.
And if I didn't thank you personally, I did thank some of the Super Chat people. Thank you if I haven't given you a personal thank you. And new Patreon supporter early this morning. Appreciate that too. I don't have the exact count, but it's about 100, maybe a little more.
Much more. The Revocable Living Trust Workshop is at 2, where you will learn how to avoid losing an inheritance. avoidance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. The workshops are free, but seating is limited, so please call Attorney Barry Siegel's office for a reservation. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782.
Well, thank you, Mike.
The Courtyard by Marriott is on Glades Road in Boca, just west of I-95, on the north side.
Yeah, I've been uploading my
Glades Road.
podcast to
The Medicaid
YouTube as
Planning
well.
Workshop is at 10. The Revocable Living Trust
Really?
Workshop
Oh,
is at
I didn't
2.
know that.
Call Barry Siegel's office right now and make your reservation to these free workshops. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782.
It's just hard to grow.
Listen to the Steve King Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right. Welcome. Oh, man. Yeah, I had a rough day yesterday. I had something going on in my personal life yesterday. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I had something going on. Everything's okay, but I had something in my personal life going on yesterday, and I was in total crisis mode yesterday. Oh, boy. It's kind of exhausting. I was in a total anxiety state over something that was going on in my life. It's been resolved, and everything is fine, but, man, any of you deal with anxiety? You know, when there's things going on, I can, I handle everything. I always take care of everything, but I get in that anxiety state. Oh, my goodness. It was a pretty bad one. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, so they got this new whistleblower. The Gateway Pundit is a great conservative news site. And you really should go to the Gateway Pundit, thegatewaypundit.com. It's one of my first stops every morning. Usually, I would say the Gateway Pundit, when I get up and do my show prep in the morning, is my first or second news source that I go to. And by the way, I don't just go to conservative news sources. I go to BuzzFeed. I go to HuffPost on occasion. I go to Never Trumpers like Ben Shapiro and The Blaze. I go to everything everywhere. Because I want to be exposed to everything and make up my own mind. So I don't care if some news outlet is liberal or biased. When I'm doing my online stuff, I just want to know what's going on. But the Gateway Pundit is usually my first stop. If it's not my first stop, it's my second stop. Because I like the Daily Mail out of the UK. The Daily Mail in the UK is the best newspaper in the world. And it's also the most read English language newspaper on the planet. And they've got good stuff in the Daily Mail. So it's either the Daily Mail or the Gateway Pundit. Those are always my first and second stops. And there's a big story on this latest impeachment witness that on the Trump call. Listen to this. Former White House advisor Fiona Hill testified before Democrat investigators Monday as part of their closed-door impeachment inquiry of President Trump. The liberal media pushed the line all day that she was a very important Russia advisor. They really propped her up. And Gateway Pundit writes, this can only mean that they know that she's an anti-Trump hack. Intel expert Tony Shaffer has no idea who she is, which says a lot about the Democrat Party witnesses. And he tweeted Tony Shaffer, LOL, I know most of Donald Trump's top advisors. I've never even heard of Ms. Hill. Apparently, she's a top advisor in CNN's alternate universe. According to reports, this star witness, Ms. Hill, was not even working in the White House at the time of the call with the Ukrainian president. She had resigned before the call, so it's not clear why they needed to speak with her for 11 hours. She had zero knowledge of the call and had only heard rumors of the call. Democrats don't seem to care, writes the Gateway Pundit. They want to impeach Trump on rumors. What a clown show, no doubt about that. Democrats leaked out that Fiona Hill was very disturbed about the Trump phone call with Ukrainian's president. She's definitely biased against this president. She may even be the second whistleblower. It's possible she is. So she didn't even work at the White. She had resigned. So she wasn't even working at the White House or for the White House. But she heard about the call and it upset her. So the Democrats talked to her for 11 hours about something she had no knowledge of beyond what you and I would know from the transcript or editorializing secondhand from witnesses. This is their impeachment witch hunt. And, Jeff Zucker at CNN with that Project Veritas expose yesterday, part 1, he is abusing his powers at CNN, which is a very powerful outlet. It's in everyone's home in the world, basically, CNN. Think about that. They may not be number 1 in the ratings, but they're in everyone's home, and they're at every airport, and they're worldwide, baby. That's right. Hotel rooms, third world countries that don't even barely have electricity. CNN's on in the hut. And he is misusing his power. And the Democrats in Congress, Schiff in particular, they are abusing their authority. They're abusing their power. And in fact, I mean, I would consider, when you see this story, an 11-hour testimony for someone who didn't even work for or at the White House, but she heard about the call and she didn't like it. She was upset. Well, what are they talking to her for 11 hours about, It's to push that there's something there when there isn't. If there was something there, they would have real witnesses, not fake witnesses like this. My goodness. It's pretty scary, isn't it? But what you have with Schiff and these Democrats is you have dirty cops. It's like dirty cops. Yeah. It's like having corrupt cops. It's like Richard Gere in Internal Affairs. Or it's like having corrupt judges, because they're judges of a sort. They're investigating and they're judging. Isn't that nice? The investigators get to judge as well. They don't want Republicans there. They don't want the American people to see it. It's insane what's going on. And they're trying to make a big deal about this video that was shown at Trump Doral, and they're trying to connect this to President Trump. President Trump is not responsible for what people who support him say or do. Don Jr. was not there when the video was shown. In fact, didn't Don Jr. denounce this video? I can't even believe that's a story. They're trying to connect that thing to Trump. Lots of things happen. The Trump hotels worldwide and resorts, people stay there. So Trump is responsible for everything people say and do and watch and show in one of his hotels or resorts? Are you kidding me? So at Trump's Doral golf course, if some guy's on the golf course and he's drinking, because they give you drinks on these things, and he grabs the butt of a girl, is that Trump's fault? If someone has an extramarital affair in one of the hotel rooms at the Trump Doral, is that his fault? No, of course not. So they've got some people that rented a room. They have an event. They show a video, which is disturbing based on what I've seen and heard about it. And somehow Trump is responsible for that, because all of a sudden Trump is responsible for everything everyone does that stays in one of his hotels? Are you kidding me? I have never heard such a bizarre standard in my lifetime towards a president. Have you? It's not his fault what people show, what people watch. It's like they had some people that were illegals that they found were working for Trump. And they were somehow trying to blame Trump for having illegals working. Well, they were committing identity theft. And they had fake identity, fake social security numbers. That's not his fault. When they found out, they got rid of them. I tell you, the standards that they hold Trump to are pretty tough standards. All right, let's take our last break of the first hour. When we get back, we'll get into the very disturbing ABC News. I know the phone's been ringing. I haven't answered the phones. If you'd like to call in, please do. Call back. Sometimes it's hard for me to answer the phones when I'm alone sometimes, so don't take it personally if I miss your call. And don't answer the phone. But I will answer the phones during the commercial break. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Final break of hour number 1 of our 3-hour show begins now.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate Meet all 2019 models. Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when you and use. 50% less. Up around 2019 RAV4, not
Oh boy, I tell you.
775. Up around 2019 Camry LE, not 26,000.
You're using bad words, I missed them.
2019 Corolla LE, not 22,000. 13,775. Pay up to 50% less. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018.
Be right
for
back.
SCT on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Matez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. He's my anti-aging doctor. That's right, I have an anti-aging doctor now. This year, I turned 45, and I was starting to slow down a bit. I met with Dr. Matez, and he found that my testosterone level was low. We men begin losing our testosterone starting at age 30, and it goes down every year after that. Dr. Matez told me I was approaching the beginning of andropause. That's the male equivalent of menopause. I began bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. They're tiny little pellets inserted under my skin, and now my testosterone levels are being restored to where they were when I was 25 years old. Thanks to Dr. Matez, I have more energy, I feel better.
Hey guys,
better,
make sure you subscribe.
Better, and my wife, she's thanking Dr. Matez too. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy isn't just for men. It works wonders for women by reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings. Men and women, you don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone
Oh,
pellet
man.
therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is
That I don't understand.
hormonetherapy.com. Or give him a call, 561-953-5490.
That's what I'm not understanding.
561-953-5490. And tell
Okay.
him Brian Craig sent you.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. This is the one time of year you can make changes to your Medicare plan. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080, and have her review your Medicare plan, 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve King Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, yeah. This morning, I was leaving for the radio studio, and my daughter was up because she's 20 years old, and, you know, she's like a vampire at that age. And she came in and she says, "Hey, Dad, can I wash my my pillow?" And I said, "Of course. You can wash your My Pillow each and every day. Comes with a 10-year warranty too. You can wash it each and every day." And she says, "Oh, good, because the dog was sleeping on my Pillow for the last 3 days," which really surprised me because we have the My Pillow pet bed. I guess the cats are using the pet bed, so she used my daughter's pillow in her bed. I said, "Yeah, wash it." So she washed it, and, you know, I wash my my pillows on my bed too. My wife and I each have my pillows. We wash them every couple of weeks, like, you know, just throw them in there and boom, 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 and it's great. That's one of the wonderful things about the My Pillow. And, you know, when you wash it and you dry it, it's like brand new still. It's an absolutely amazing pillow. Now, listen, if you've not already done this, do it. Go to mypillow.com, use the promo code KANE, Kane, and order a My Pillow. They have the great 2-for-1 special going on right now. You get 2 My Pillows for the price of 1 when you use the promo code KANE, Kane. My wife started Christmas shopping, and we are buying My Pillows for a lot of people, and we're doing it with this 2 My Pillow for the price of 1 deal, because I don't know if that's going to be there in the official holiday season period. And every time we get 2 of them, and it's great because if you're buying them for a married couple, boom, you got 2 gifts. It's a great deal. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, Kane, at mypillow.com for the 2 My Pillows for the price of 1. They make great Christmas gifts. We've bought them for gifts for many people, including my own mother, and everyone loves them. You can also order by phone, and here's the number to order by phone, the 2 My Pillows for the price of 1. Call 1-800-716-4879 1-800-716-4879. And when you order by phone, still use the promo code KANE, Kane, to get that incredible deal. 2 My Pillows for the price of 1. Oh, man, my daughter and I are bringing our My Pillows on the Steve Kane cruise next month. You know, because we love our My Pillows. It's very difficult to sleep on anything other than a My Pillow, because you, for the first time, you experience what a pillow is supposed to be like with the My Pillow. So again, use that promo code KANE, Kane, at mypillow.com at checkout, or call 1-800-716-4879. Oh, yeah. So CNN, they got a double whammy yesterday. So they got busted by Project Veritas yesterday, which was spectacular. And then they got busted again outside of Project Veritas with Elizabeth Warren with the fake questioner from the town hall meeting. And it was the highlight for her at that town hall on LGBTQ issues last week. And listen to this. This is at the Gateway Pundit as well, and also the Free Beacon. You can find this story. Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren's zinger at an LGBT town hall may have gone viral, but CNN failed to disclose that the questioner donated the federal maximum to Elizabeth Warren's 2018 Senate campaign. He was a donor, one of her donors. CNN Chris Cuomo introduced Morgan Cox, with an X, C-O-X, at the Thursday town hall as the chair of the Human Rights Campaign Board of Directors, who was part of a real estate firm in Dallas, Texas. Cox, with an X, asked Warren what she would say if a supporter approaches you and says, "Senator, I'm old-fashioned, and my faith teaches me that marriage is between one man and one woman." And, of course, she went back and, you know, she had a zinger and she got all kinds of Twitter fanfare for it. Cox, with an X Twitter profile, indicates his full name, and and he was able to check him out, and he donated the federal maximum, which is $2,700. So that LGBTQ town hall, at least in this instance, was also a donor meetup. And you think it was just a coincidence he got to ask the question? You know, CNN, they've been busted at these town halls, and I've told you, these town halls are all fake. Fake questioners. On occasion, someone will sneak through the process. They'll lie, they'll get through, and then they'll ask something, they'll go rogue. And, you know, what I'd like to know, which we may never know, but Warren had that zinger, you know, that was her zinger moment. What I wonder is, how much rehearsal time did she have with that question and her answer? You know, remember when it was when Donna Brazile got busted giving the questions to crooked Hillary before the debate with President Trump? This is a similar thing. These town halls, they're supposed to be taking questions raw from concerned people in the audience. But when you find out that a major donor to her campaign, someone who donated the maximum amount allowed by law, asked a question, you've got to ask yourself, well, did he submit this in advance, and how far in advance? You know, because you know, now this tells us that the whole thing was fake. The whole thing was fake. You know, and not just with Elizabeth Warren, probably with others as well, although she's their favorite. And, you know, what they do is that, just like Donna Brazile with Hillary, they get the questions in advance so they can rehearse their answers. I did hear some very good analysis on Fox News Channel early this morning when I was doing show prep. I don't know who this guy was. They had a guy on in the 5 o'clock hour. He said something at first. I was like, what is he talking about? Then he explained, and I'll tell you what I mean, about Elizabeth Warren. He said Elizabeth Warren, maybe some of you heard this, he said Elizabeth Warren is the most sympathetic of the Democrats running. And he said if you know, because Biden's out, of course, and Bernie's out. And he said if you look at Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, he says there's anger in their tone, and it's a campaign of revenge, you know, of course, against the past wrongs done against African Americans throughout history. And it's very negative. And Elizabeth Warren is talking about a hopeful future for her commie friends that vote for her. And I thought that was some pretty good analysis of Elizabeth Warren. But this here, CNN was nailed twice yesterday. Project Veritas and then this fake LGBTQ questioner with Elizabeth Warren at the town hall. And, between this, and I'll get to the ABC News after the top of the hour break, but nothing was done. I know that the primetime lineup at Fox News covered this, but what else was done about this yesterday? We have two things that came out on CNN, right? What came out with that Zucker phone call and that donors were asking Elizabeth Warren questions at that town hall last week. What is being done about this? Has the standard for news gotten to be so low that no matter what they do, there's no accountability any longer because we have no standards in news? What's going on here? There should be, well, just a few years ago, prior to Trump coming down the escalator, if something like this came out, there would be repercussions for the responsible person. Who got that donor in there to ask a question? Donna Brazile. They got rid of Donna Brazile, but of course Fox News hired Donna Brazile, which is disgusting, right? She's trying to fix a presidential election. You talk about election interference. With Donna Brazile, by giving the questions to Hillary, that's election interference. CNN having a donor of Elizabeth Warren asking questions, that is election interference. Isn't it? Do you consider that to be election interference if they have a staged event where they already have the questions in advance so that they can rehearse their answers so they can try to sound brilliant and have zingers? That's election interference in my book. There's all kinds of ways to interfere with elections, but when you put on stage plays, these are plays. These are scripted plays, live. It's live scripted television, right? When you have live scripted television, passing it off as a raw unfolding event, you are interfering with the election because you're giving viewers a false sense of who someone is and what their abilities are. Of course, Elizabeth Warren had a zinger. She knew the question in advance. It was written by writers, like a speech would be written. The question was probably written too. That's how it is. Now, when Republicans have a town hall meeting, there's no donors asking questions at the Republican town halls. When the Republicans are getting questions, they're getting questions that are scripted, but they're scripted by liberals to be asked by liberals, even if the liberal is pretending to be a conservative. No, this is outrageous. And CNN, they had their worst day ever yesterday. And as I watch the news yesterday and this morning, very little. Now, I see it in a lot of places I go because I go to places like the Gateway Pundit or Free Beacon, right? Or Breitbart. I go to a lot of conservative places, so I see it. But if you're not getting your news from these conservative news outlets, you either wouldn't know about these incidents or it would sound like no big deal. All right, we're coming up on the top of the hour. After the top of the hour break, we'll get into the wag the dog over at CNN, which was, whoa. I have never seen anything as bad as what I saw on CNN yesterday, so far as fake news. I'm sorry, ABC. This ABC news story is the worst of the worst fake news I've ever seen. So we'll get into that after this top of the hour break. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane spelled with a K, K-A-N-E, and the number 1. 888-465-2631. And also, don't forget, watch us live stream the radio show each and every day on YouTube. Brian Craig on YouTube. No more Periscope. Periscope's gone. I've deleted the app from all of my devices. I don't even have the app anymore. Got rid of it a long time ago, and I haven't looked back. So we live stream on YouTube now, which I like much, much better. Brian Craig on YouTube. All right, hour number 2 begins now.
1470. is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Patez at the Boca Raton Center for Age.
I am starving.
He's my anti-aging doctor.
I had so much going on yesterday, a major crisis. A crisis I created in my mind. It wasn't as bad as I made it, and I didn't even eat dinner last night, and now I'm starving.
It goes down every year after that. Dr. Matez told me I was approaching the beginning of andropause. That's the male equivalent of menopause. I began bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. They're tiny little pellets inserted under my skin. And now my testosterone levels are being restored to where they were when I was 25 years old. Thanks to Dr. Matez, I have more energy, I feel better, I look better, my love life, it's better, and my wife, she's thanking Dr. Matez too. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy isn't just for men, it works wonders for women.
Welcome back. I'm back. I just went to unlock the door for Steve.
Mood swings, men and women. You don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com. Or give him a call, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Grubhub will deliver. Can't eat while I'm on the air.
Brian Craig sent you.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. This is the one time of year you can make changes.
I don't
to your
eat
Medicare
before I
plan.
go on the air because if you eat, it makes you tired. It makes me tired before I go on the air, so I don't eat before I go on the air, even if I'm starving. Very rarely. On occasion, I'll stop at Dunkin' Donuts on the way.
954-753-8080.
Seniors, is there too much month left at the end of your money? You have worked hard your whole life, and you shouldn't be struggling in your golden years. And you know what? You don't have to. Call Roger Simon at Choice Mortgage.
Yeah, and I hate listening to that. Yeah, so did Neil.
Mortgage can change your life. Roger has a reverse mortgage himself.
Did you know Suds passed away?
Use the money for anything you want. Pay off your bills.
Eat during a break? I have. I did a couple weeks ago.
Stop working. Take vacation.
Protein shakes?
Or anything else you wish. It's your money to do with what you want. And the best part is, you and your spouse.
You don't eat after you smoke a joint.
For the rest of
Makes you
your
tired. Maybe the
lives,
joint is
without
making you
worry,
tired.
without financial struggle or a mortgage payment. Call Roger Simon right now at Choice Mortgage Bank.
33 years of experience, so what? What does that mean, Emily?
2730 561-441.
Trump's whole life is
subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing
dealing
leader,
with foreign
NMLS
countries and
166,
cities.
254.
He's, being in business like he is better than being a career diplomat. That's a diplomat of sorts.
Workshops Tuesday, October 29th at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. The first workshop is at 10. That's the Medicaid
Oh, I appreciate
planning
that, Jeff.
workshop, where you will learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. You will learn how to avoid spending down your assets and avoid nursing home seizure of your assets, and much, much more. The Revocable Living Trust workshop is at 2, where you will learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. The workshops are free, but seating is limited, so please call Attorney Barry Siegel's office for a reservation. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782. The Courtyard by Marriott is on Glades Road in Boca, just west of I-95, on the north side of Glades Road. The Medicaid Planning Workshop is at 10. The Revocable Living Trust
Hey, Gary.
Workshop is at 2. Call Barry Siegel's office right now and make your reservation to these free workshops. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights, midnight till 6 a.m.
No.
7 nights a
Government
week.
incompetence.
Call the show toll free.
All right, welcome. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Hour number 2 has just begun. We are live in Morning Drive, Monday through Friday, from 6 until 9 a.m., with overnight rebroadcast, midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. Visit our website, stevekaneshow.com. There's a listen live link there. You can listen on your computer, your desktop. You can listen to us on the overnight and in morning drive on the iHeart Radio app or on the TuneIn app, searching for us by our station call letters, WWNN. I listen on the TuneIn app on my way into work every morning. I just have it on the Bluetooth in my car because I like the TuneIn app, WWNN on the iHeartRadio and TuneIn app. And, of course, on the radio, you can listen to us here in South Florida on the radio on AM 1470 and 95.3 FM. That's right. So welcome. Good morning. Hour number 2 has begun. In the first hour, we were talking about this massive exposure of CNN by Project Veritas yesterday, which was incredible. Part 2 coming out today. Yeah, and today is going to be talking about the racism of CNN, it looks like, based on the clips they released, which I may play later, because apparently CNN, according to the guy on the hidden camera, doesn't care when black people get shot, only when white people get shot. So that was an interesting thing. Maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. Well, let me play it. I like this one. Let me play before I get into ABC News. So this was a teaser for part 2 of CNN Exposed from Veritas yesterday. The guy's got the hidden camera. He's talking to this CNN news guy, and they're talking about covering shootings. Live radio, people. Live radio. Hold on. I got it works with the volume turned up. Let's see here. Here we go. There we go.
White kid gets shot at Princeton University. He's visiting his big brother who's a student there. He gets shot in the hip. He gets killed. We're gonna get coverage on that because, oh my God, we have the precious little girl.
But 3 people get shot in Newark.
Nobody cares. Wow. Nobody cares, maybe unless it happens on Cory Booker's block.
Okay, that was crazy. No one cares there unless it happens on Cory Booker's block. And the reason for that is I don't know if it's racism. Liberals are racist. I mean, liberals are segregation, slavery, all these terrible things were always the left in this country. But the reason that they carry the shootings of whites and not the shootings of blacks isn't necessarily racism. It's more about an agenda. And when there is a shooting like his hypothetical at Princeton or something, they can get a gun control narrative going. Like, for example, I was talking yesterday, there was reports of a shooter at the Boca Raton Town Center Mall on Sunday, which turned out not to be true. There was no shooter. No one was shot, but there was a panic going on. And even though there was no shooter, within minutes, I'm on Twitter, and people are already pushing the gun control narrative. They were talking about how close this mall is to Parkland and how to have another shooting so close to Marjorie Stoneman. There was no shooting, so they get into the... When you have shootings like you see in Chicago, or these other liberal Democrat plantation cities around the country, like Baltimore and other places, they can't further their gun control narrative with that because these places, first off, most of them have the most strict gun control legislation you could imagine. In fact, you go to places like Chicago, the gun control legislation is more restrictive than what the Democrats are proposing nationwide, right? And they have shootings every day. So if they point out these shootings, they can't promote the gun control narrative because they already have gun control there. That's one reason. So far as race goes, they don't want black people to look bad. I was talking to a caller on the show yesterday. They had mentioned Bernard Goldberg. We had Bernard Goldberg on the show when his book first came out many moons ago, and he had said this quick story, I'll tell you real quick, that when he was at ABC News, they sent a reporter down south to do a story on a county sheriff who had brought back chain gangs. And they did the story. They had the video. It was all done. They sent it up to New York. New York called and said they had to go reshoot the video. There were too many black people in the chain gang. And the reporter told New York, well, that's who the prisoners are in the chain gang, and they didn't like it. No, they did some selective editing, so they didn't. So they don't want to make black people look bad because they think that if black people have done something, it's a statement on all blacks. The racist aspect goes, with this clip, if they're racist, that aspect is they think blacks are criminals, and they don't want to promote that blacks are criminals because they think they are. I mean, there's racism there, but it's more about the narrative. All right, so let's get to what ABC News did, because, what ABC News did was the biggest fake news story I have ever seen. Because the network knew what they were doing. President Trump pulled how many? I keep hearing different numbers. How many troops have we had in Syria? Is he pulling out? I've heard 1,000. I've heard 500. I've heard 100. I don't know. But the peacenik liberal media have all become warmongers. They're like, their biggest. Have you noticed the media's biggest friend now is John Bolton? I keep hearing the liberal media prop up the credibility of John Bolton, who's a warmonger too. That's why he got rid of him, Trump. Right? All of a sudden they're warmongers. They all want us to stay in Syria. They want us to be involved in Syria. They don't know why, but Trump's taking us out, so they want us in. And the media are promoting this narrative of the importance of us keeping a few hundred troops in Syria, and if we don't, the Kurds are going to be wiped out by Turkey. I don't know. I don't know what to believe now after what ABC News did. So ABC News ran this story, which I'll play you the audio of it, and it ran on their nightly news and ran on Monday morning's Good Morning America. Listen.
This clip obtained by ABC News appears to show the fury of the Turkish attack on the border town of Tel Aviv, a border town bombarded by Turkey's military.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town. The Kurds, who fought alongside the U.S.
Bombing civilians. Turkey bombing civilians because Trump pulled this out. And when you watch the video, I mean, it looks like the early days of the war in Iraq in 2003 with the shock and awe. Fire, flames going everywhere. The guns that are firing are massive. And if you notice, it's Turkey killing civilians.
Border town bombarded by Turkey's military. This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians.
Wow.
Syrian border town. The Kurds, who fought alongside the U.S. against ISIS. Now, horrific reports of atrocities committed by Turkish-backed fighters on those very allies.
Yes. Yeah, and the gunshots and explosions go on, and these are like cannons. And the story aired on their nightly news, and it aired on Good Morning America, this video. And they're telling us this is Turkey murdering civilians in this footage with massive explosions. And it turns out that this was footage at some strange demonstration somewhere in Kentucky. Not Kentucky, Syria. Not Kentucky, Syria. Kentucky, USA, where Senator Rand Paul represents. And ABC apologized for it, and that's it. Are you kidding me? They knew what they were doing. Do you think this was an accident this made it on the air? They have a narrative, the media, for whatever reason. Keep us in Syria. If we pull out of Syria, it's going to be some type of massacre, some type of genocide going on over there. Right? This is wag the dog times 1,000. The only thing as close to this that I've ever seen was Dan Rather at CBS News with the fake story that George W. Bush was AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard. Remember this one? You know, the left have been talking about that for a long time. Oh, George Bush, he's AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard. How can he be president? How can he be president? And then they found a document. They ran with it on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. And it was a document that was in a box in a garage for a retired colonel that was in charge of that unit. And the document showed that he was put on report for being AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard. And they put the document on television and they showed it, Dan Rather. And people saw the document and noticed that the font was it was done on Microsoft Word. It was a Microsoft Word document. And for snowflakes and millennials out there in the audience, George Bush, the document was dated 1970-something. It was the early 70s, like 73-ish, 75-ish, 74, somewhere there. And there was no Microsoft Word in the 70s. We were using typewriters in the 70s. And it was fake news, a fake document. It was a fraud. It was a fraudulent document. And people were fired, including Dan Rather, who was their chief managing editor and anchor of the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Because that was fake news, and it was a fraud that was committed by the news. A senior producer for Dan Rather's broadcast was the one they say was behind it, and they got rid of him. They got rid of them, and it was a woman, if I recall. It's been a long time. I mean, we're talking way back in the day. Was this before or after the election in 2000? I can't remember. It's been a long time. It's like 20 years ago almost. But that was huge. That's what this is. Times 1,000, because this involves, you know, with the Texas Air National Guard fraudulent document on George Bush. It was before 9/11. I'm assuming. Was it before 9/11 or was it during the re-election with Kerry? Does anyone remember exactly what year that was? It's been a long time. I don't have time to look it up on Wikipedia and sound like I remember everything, because I don't. Can't remember. It's been a long time. The Bush years are a blur. Oh boy. But you know, this is worse than that, because this involves keeping men and women, United States men and women, in a combat zone. And they put up fake news with the hopes of putting Americans' lives in danger by staying over there. So far as the situation in Libya with Turkey and the Kurds, I don't know if the situation is good, if it's bad, if it stayed the same. I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because this is proof that you cannot trust the news.
This video, obtained by ABC News, appears to show the fury of the Turkish attack on the border town of Tel Aviv, a border town bombarded by Turkey's military.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town.
Wow. Bombing Kurd civilians. I mean, my goodness. What the hell? You know, that's worse than remember Peter Arnett at CNN, who was in Baghdad in the Gulf War, and there was a lot of criticism that he was being influenced by the Saddam regime at CNN with what he was reporting. This is the worst. Have you ever seen anything like that? You know, and when you watch the video, it's in a forest area. And when I saw the video, it stood out to me a little bit, because I didn't know there were trees like that in Syria. Well, apparently they're not. Those were Kentucky trees. In fact, I didn't know there were trees like that in the Bluegrass State. I've driven through Kentucky, and when they call it the Bluegrass State, oh man, do they mean it. Far as the eye can see when you're driving through Kentucky, bluegrass, which is beautiful. All right, we'll take a break. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. We'll take a break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve
You're not getting
Kane
notifications? A
listeners.
lot of people say that about all kinds of channels that are not even political. I don't get notifications for a lot of stuff I watch that have nothing to do with politics.
Saturday appointments available, and they save me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from
Exactly.
taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible
goodness.
is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is too hectic. I just can't afford it. The time for excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA, only $34. Full
That is
cholesterol
awesome.
lipid panel, $28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less.
Oh,
Those
man.
results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes
Oh, okay, that's a good tip. Click the notification off and back on.
Efficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise
Well,
Boulevard.
you know that I live stream every day on the radio, so I'm here from 6 to 9. So you know I'm going to be on then within a minute or two, depending on when I fire it up, right? And my other videos, well, if you subscribe, you'll see them in your feed. So it doesn't really bother me that I don't get people's notifications. Well, but I keep the notifications off on my phone for most everything because I don't want to get notifications all day.
Hello, my name is Todd Shallett, Florida licensed and bonded public adjuster in the state of Florida. I work for Amerilos Incorporated. I'm the founder, and I've been working since 1993 as your public adjuster. Amerilos Incorporated has helped thousands of homeowners get tens of millions of dollars more than what their insurance companies pay them. We offer a second opinion on your claim. If you suffered damage from Hurricane Matthew, Irma, or Michael, it's not too late to get a second opinion and get the money that you deserve to get your house back in shape again. I'm sure you'll agree that you want to work with someone that has experience in this industry. I've been doing this since 1993, and our service is very valuable because if we don't get you any additional funds, there's no charge for what we do. Write this number down, 877-644-LOSS. That's 877-644-5677. If you had a loss, call Amerilos. One of our adjusters are standing by to make that valuable appointment with you. You deserve to get a second opinion. We work for you, not the insurance
Make sure you
company.
subscribe on
Call
YouTube. Is everyone
right now.
subscribed?
877
I'd like to see as many likes as I see people in the chat.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
Oh, man. All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. You know, Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest price on all of their lab testing in South Florida. It's absolutely amazing. They're open on Saturdays, by the way, if you can't make it in during. I usually go in on Saturdays because some of my tests are fasting, and by the time I get off the air, I've had 3-4 cups of coffee in the morning, and on the weekends, I just get up and go, and I don't have any coffee until I leave. But I get it right after, I'll tell you that, because I'm addicted to coffee, like Hunter Biden is addicted to things. But regardless of that, Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, no appointment necessary, no doctor's order, nothing goes on your medical record. You don't even have to use your name. You can make up a name when you go into Any Lab Test Now at Plantation. They're a longtime sponsor of the Steve Kane Show, and I love it. I'll tell you something about Any Lab Test Now of Plantation. Sometimes you have a health issue you're concerned about, and you don't want to go wait in the medical office to get that test. You can go into Any Lab Test Now at Plantation and do this. My wife does this. My wife, when she had her cardiac cath last week, my wife gets a cardiac cath every year. And there's a couple things they're looking for because of her illness, and one of them is heart failure. And she gets nervous every year, and so she went in and she had this test. There's a blood test that detects whether or not you are in heart failure. I don't know what it's called. My wife does. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation does too. And went in, got the test, boom, she got the results the next day in her email, and she had no heart failure. So it took the edge off of her before she had that cath. that cardiac cath last week because she knew that she wasn't in heart failure. So, take control of your health. Go over to Any Lab Test Now at Plantation. There are lots of Any Lab Test Nows, but there's only one Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest price on all of their thousands of lab tests. And I drive down there from Boca, 20 minutes. Sometimes I'll go down there after I get off the air here in Coral Springs, 15 minutes. It's quick. So it's worth the drive to save the money and take control of your health. Their number, 954-916-1072, 954-916-1072 if you have any questions. But you can just stop right in because no appointment is necessary, no doctor's order, no prescription needed. Just walk right in. They're located just west of University Drive on the north side of Sunrise Boulevard and Plantation in that public shopping center, and their website, labtestingplantation.com. All right, I just looked at the Drudge Report during the break, and this is the lead story on Drudge. Now, keep in mind, we had 3 major news stories come out yesterday about media corruption. And I've gone through them all, right? The one in the last segment with the ABC fake video, everyone involved with that should be fired. The second one I had was the gay town hall on CNN on Thursday night. Elizabeth Warren's shiny moment where she had a zinger was after a question was asked by someone we now know is a donor to her Senate campaign. Just a coincidence, right? She's sure she had the question in advance. And of course, the massive story, part 1 that we got yesterday, part 2 is coming today, Project Veritas, CNN exposed. And there's a lot to talk about with that, other than just the incidents. Yesterday, CNN discussed this fake news from ABC, but they didn't discuss what happened with them in either of these 2 incidents. And you know what? The rest of the media have been pretty light on it, too. And I'm here on the Drudge Report, and I'm looking at the headline on the Drudge Report. In fact, these stories, I'm sure they're here somewhere. Yeah, buried down there. It is in red video. CNN insider blows whistle. But Zucker vendetta against Trump, but it's way down. The headline is LeBron James, LeBron bows to communist. We haven't talked too much about this China NBA business. And LeBron, I know he's trying to walk it back now. And I'm not a basketball fan. I've never watched a basketball game. I've never watched a professional basketball game. I know nothing about it. I mean, I played basketball with my friends when I was a kid, but I don't like it. I think they're all freaks of nature who have birth defects that make them too tall for the basket. The basket should be raised. They should do an average height of the NBA and raise the damn baskets. I mean, what they're playing is like eye level, these guys. I mean, give me a break. They're all, they're freaks. I mean, they're so tall. They're not normal people. It's not fair for them. It'd be like me playing at the basketball court at the elementary school where they have the lower baskets. It's ridiculous. But the one thing I do miss about LeBron James being in Miami is he had his own brand of Sprite, which you cannot get anymore. When he was with the Heat, they had LeBron James Sprite. And it was Sprite mixed with another type of soda. I don't know what it was. And man, was that LeBron James. Any of you guys have LeBron James Sprite? LeBron James Sprite is spectacular, man. That is a great drink. But anyway, headline on Drudge, LeBron bows to communist. Who cares? So what? Whoop-de-doo. Oh, man. With everything that's going on right now, they got fake news on ABC trying to push us into a combat situation in Syria. I don't even know why we're there. All these other huge stories and the reaction and lack of reaction to them, and we're supposed to be concerned about what LeBron James... Let me play it for you. This is what the headline is on Drudge.
We all talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have freedom of speech. But at times, there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others. You're only thinking about yourself. So I don't believe... I don't want to get into a word sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand.
No, he wasn't educated. Well, he can go to China and get re-educated. Isn't that what they do over there? Like in The Last Emperor. Remember when The Last Emperor went to re-education camp? I bet you couldn't get The Last Emperor made today. Last Emperor is a great. Was that who made The Last Emperor? That wasn't Spielberg. Who made The Last Emperor? That was a great movie, and they sent the emperor to the communist re-education camp. You could not get that made now. You know, and the reason that there's so light now on China, the left and these entertainment people, is because that is a new market for them, for movies and everything else. They got a Disney World over there, Shanghai Disney. And Disney has a very close relation. Well, they own ESPN, so they have a very close relationship with the NBA. They got this. Disney has this new NBA experience at Disney World, and all of these entertainment companies and organizations, NBA's entertainment too, sports. They see a billion screaming Chinamen and a way to make money over there, and that's what it's all about. You know, it's about they got this new market. You know, a few years ago they did a remake of Red Dawn. Remember the great movie with They did a remake, and in the remake, it was about China, not the Soviets, because there's no more Soviet, about China invading the United States. After the movie was made and edited, before its release, they went back and with computers in the remake of Red Dawn and changed all the Chinese logos on all of the uniforms and the military vehicles to North Korean. They changed the flags to North Korean flags. They did this all with computers because they didn't want to alienate China, because the studio releases movies in China now. You know, so it's all about money. But you know, all of these outlets, sports, entertainment, they're all liberals and they love communist. I mean, look at what's going on with Bernie Sanders now is getting pathetic. You know, his day is over. You know, he had a good run in the last primaries against crooked Hillary. They stole the nomination from him. I mean, if Hillary did the right thing, they would have at least made Bernie the VP nominee, but they couldn't do that, right? So he goes to the White House, Bernie, he meets with Obama, and then he comes out and endorses Hillary. They bought him off with something. I don't know what, but they bought Bernie Sanders off with something. He screwed himself then, and his time is over. So now Bernie Sanders is getting very pathetic, and he accused Elizabeth Warren of being the worst thing that you can accuse a Democrat of being. He called her a capitalist. Now think about this. You've got one multimillionaire calling another multimillionaire a capitalist. How can you be a multimillionaire and be a communist? When I was a kid, there was a story on the ABC Evening News. I remember this. Might have been CBS. It was one of the nightly newses. And this was in the 80s, in the days of the Soviet Union. And there were a group of guys in the Soviet Union who somehow got a hold of a bunch of scrap metal at some railroad yards. And scrap metal is pretty valuable. You know that, right, guys? It's valuable in America, even more valuable in a third world communist pit like the Soviet Union was. And these guys got all of this scrap metal, and they somehow from the railroad yards, and they sold it, and they made the equivalent to over $1 million US. And this was in the 80s. And the government found out about it and took all the money from them because it was capitalism. You can't do it. You can't make $1 million in the Soviet Union. Now you can make, they have billionaires now, but that was the Soviet Union days. They took the money away. And there was a news story about how they made over $1 million and the government took it away from them. So here we have Bernie Sanders, a multimillionaire communist, accusing another multimillionaire communist of being a capitalist. And that's the worst thing he can say about her. I saw one story, it says Bernie Sanders, it was a clickbait story. Bernie Sanders calls Elizabeth Warren the C word, and they had the C word in parentheses so people will click it, because you think the C word in a woman, you don't think a capitalist. You think of something else that I can't say on the radio, right? So here's Drudge. The head story is not Project Veritas, not the ABC News fake story, not the reaction or the lack of reaction, not part 2 coming out today of Project Veritas, not that the shift witness that was there for 11 hours, who may be one of the whistleblowers, was not employed by the White House at the time of the call. She didn't hear the call. She heard about the call and was very upset. That's not the headline. LeBron bows to communist. Oh, well, stop the presses, people. LeBron James has spoken. Oh, boy, and he's trying to walk it back. Well, whoop-de-freaking-do. What did Laura Ingraham say that got her in trouble? Oh, my goodness. All right, 34 minutes after 7. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E. That's right. And numerically, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist.
Hunter Biden has spoken. I'll get to it when we get back.
It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
Attorney Barry Siegel invites you to his Medicaid and Revocable Living Trust workshops, Tuesday, October 29th at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. The first workshop is at 10. That's the Medicaid Planning Workshop, where you will learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. You will learn how to avoid spending down your assets and avoid nursing home seizure of your assets, and much, much more. The Revocable Living Trust Workshop is at 2, where you will learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. The workshops are free, but seating is limited, so please call Attorney Barry Siegel's office for a reservation. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782. The Courtyard by Marriott is on Glades Road in Boca, just west of I-95, on the north side of Glades Road. The Medicaid Planning Workshop is at 10. The Revocable Living Trust Workshop is at 2. Call Barry Siegel's office right now and make your reservation to these free workshops. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Welcome back. So Hunter Biden has spoken in what everyone is describing as a softball interview. I'll tell you what, though, they have cleaned up Hunter Biden. Yeah, they've cleaned him up a little bit, the best he could be cleaned up. Boy, oh boy. You know, I worry about Hunter Biden because, you know, he has a history, and this kind of stress, well, he should be under someone's care during this. But he has spoken out. Let's find out what Hunter had to say. This is in the Daily Mail. Hunter Biden said he exercised poor judgment in his business deals with Ukraine and China, but emphasized that he did nothing wrong in the scandals that have engulfed his father's presidential bid and made him a political target for President Donald Trump. Hunter Biden said this, "In retrospect, I think it was poor judgment on my part. I think that it was poor judgment because I don't believe now when I look back on it. I know that I did nothing wrong at all." That, okay? This is a tragedy because Hunter Biden says here, "I take full responsibility." I take full responsibility. Even if there was nothing wrong with that deal, there was, okay? It's all corrupt. Please don't misunderstand me. Even if there was nothing wrong in that deal, who should be taking responsibility for China and this Ukraine deal? Should it be Hunter Biden? I don't think so. What a father would do, a decent father, what a decent father would do is they would take responsibility. Okay? You know, a parent, look at what General Flynn did. General Flynn did nothing wrong. And this Mueller witch hunt came along and tried to destroy him. And they were going after his son. And what did he do? As an honorable man, being a retired general and all, he admitted the things that he didn't do to save his son because he's a decent guy, General Flynn. But here you got Biden, who took his son that has a very tragic history with addiction, okay, used him. I saw a story yesterday that Biden was getting paid by companies when he was 18, 19 years old and his dad was in office. So Joe Biden has been using his son's entire adult life to make money where he can't. He's been selling his office, his federal office, through his son since his son was young, his whole life. And if Biden were a decent person and a decent father, even if nothing was wrong here, he would be the one on Good Morning America, and he would be the one saying, I take responsibility because of who I am. My son was put in these situations. I should not have allowed my son to be in these situations. Hunter did nothing wrong, but you know what? He was only in these situations because his father was the vice president or the U.S. senator, and I take responsibility that I allowed my son to get involved in this. But not Biden. Biden's not even there. Hunter Biden. So he's got a kid with a very troubled past. And all this stress that's being put on him because of his father with this corruption could cause him to go on a bender. And we don't want that. We don't want that for anybody. So Hunter Biden says, I take full responsibility for that. Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah, he said, in reference to fallout from his overseas business. But did I make a mistake based upon some ethical lapse? Absolutely not, he says. Hunter also admits he benefited in the business dealings from his last name. I don't think there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life if my last name wasn't Biden, Hunter said. Hunter Biden's tent goes into the details, okay, about the crimes again and the corruption. That's sad. And I know a lot of you have no sympathy for Hunter Biden, but I do. I feel so sorry for Hunter Biden. Here you got a guy, he's lost his brother, right? He's got a lifelong history of addiction, cost him a military career, although he got into, I heard someone say the other day he got into the Navy when he was 40. How did that happen? Oh, his father's connections again. That's how it happened. You've got him involved in really a major international corruption scandal where people probably should go to prison for. I mean, you know, with the substance abuse issues that Hunter Biden was dealing with, for Joe Biden to put his son in these situations and have all of this wealth available to him too is just, I really, Biden is a disgusting man as a father. And I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Forgetting about your political affiliations and political dislike of Biden, with everything that's going on, shouldn't his dad be sitting there next to him at least during this Good Morning America interview? I would. Would you let your son do that on his own and take responsibility for something that you are responsible for? Come on. Come on. You know, I thought Hillary Clinton was ruthless. And she is. But she's not. I haven't seen her do this. I have not seen Hillary Clinton put her daughter out there to take responsibility for crimes. Now, I know Chelsea's had dealings with the campaign and with Clinton Foundation and things like this, but nothing like this has happened. And I think that if Chelsea was called out for scandals involving the Clinton Foundation dealings, I don't see them putting Chelsea on TV alone. Either her mother or father would be there, or both of them with her. But not Joe Biden. He sent his son, who has a lifelong substance abuse problem, on national television to take responsibility for his crime. What kind of father would do such a thing? Well, a power-hungry, corrupt father, and his name is Joe Biden. I know a lot of you probably think he's a mother. Well, he is that too. Yeah, oh boy. And a father. That's sad. That's sad. And I know a lot of people, no one's going to have sympathy for Hunter Biden but me. His own father apparently doesn't have sympathy for him, or he wouldn't have put him on TV like that. Man, oh man. All right. We'll take our break. Last break of the second hour. It is 45 minutes after 7. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break, last break of this hour, and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire.
That's pretty brutal, isn't it?
$75
That is
a tire.
brutal.
Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135
Sad,
at tire
too.
shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can
23 days till you fly to Florida. Awesome.
Consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of
How many days till the
foot
cruise
care
then?
and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic
24
shoes
days?
with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Plus tax title includes $8.99 dealer fuel credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when you and you. 50% less.
Oh boy.
19 RAV4, not 30,000, 19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not 26,000, 18,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not 22,000, 13,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Oh, man. Yeah, we're just a little more than 3 weeks away from the Steve Kane cruise. I'm really looking forward to the Cayman Islands, Cozumel, and Costa Maya. Oh, man. And those of you that have already signed up and joined us, I can't wait to meet you. And a lot of you came last time. Everyone that came on the last one's on this one. We're building up this cruise family, each and every cruise. And it grows and grows. And this is really a great Trump group of people. And we're going to have a great time. And if you've not already made reservations, it's only a little more than 3 weeks away. But call in at Cruise and Travel Depot and join us. You'll be so glad you did. People have been making reservations this close already. People have been signing up to join us, and it's close, but you can still make reservations. I don't know how many cabins are left on board. Ian will tell you when you call him. It's going to be a great time. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779, and join us on the Steve Kane cruise to the Cayman Islands, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. So, yeah, just a sad story about Hunter Biden. What a terrible father he has. What a jerk. So, there's a lot of effort, if you've noticed, putting 24 days till the cruise. Sarah from Colorado, who's going with us, just told me 24 days until the cruise. Can't wait. The media are spending a lot of time trying to destroy Mayor Giuliani, America's mayor. And they got a news story about him, came out last night. Pretty much every day they have some news story trying to slam Giuliani because they're afraid of Giuliani. Giuliani is responsible for this Hunter Biden scandal to become a national dialogue. I know Peter Schweitzer had it in his book, but and a lot of you knew about it. I knew about it, but Giuliani has made it a big deal. Right, where everyone's talking about it, and everyone in America, at least those that vote or are likely to vote, know about it. So they want to bring down Giuliani because what do they want to do? They go after the messenger, of course. He's not the one that committed the crimes. And they got another story today. It says here, Rudy Giuliani admits he was paid $500,000 to consult for a company owned by Ukrainian-American associates that are now charged with using foreign funds to influence U.S. politicians. So what? What is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with Giuliani taking money to be a consultant for a company like that. He actually has contacts in the U.S. government. He knows how the U.S. government works. Because he was the mayor of New York City and the hero of 9/11, he can pick up the phone and get important people on the phone. People will take his calls. If he went through his cell phone, he's got all the numbers of all the powers that be. He has real connections, real experience. So that's money that is, and by the way, the guy, they say Ukrainian American. Notice how they say that. They're hyphenating it. It's accurate, but it's also misleading. The guy they're talking about was one of the two that was arrested at the airport last week. He's an American citizen. Okay? So if someone that's an American citizen hires you as a political consultant because you are someone who's connected and can get important people to pick up the phone, including the President of the United States and his children probably, and any member of Congress you want, at least the ones that are in power, Republicans, because they're, we're running the White House right now. That's what people like that do. There's nothing wrong with that. What happened with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden is not the same thing. They're trying, they've got this story out about Giuliani to try to mislead people and to say, well, he was doing it too. No, Hunter Biden has no experience doing anything other than, what he does. No experience, but his father was vice president of the United States. So his father is in it. So they're putting him on these boards, paying him all this money, so his father, who was part of the ruling administration of the country, could get things done in their favor. And there was a story that we had last week on the show from back in the 2008 campaign with Tom Brokaw calling him out. that Hunter was working, getting money working for credit card companies, while Joe Biden was a U.S. senator responsible for helping credit card companies get protections from people not having to pay them when they declare bankruptcy. That's not what Giuliani was doing. Giuliani was not holding an office or have a family member holding a high office, and he was taking money, which really is a bribe, to try to influence legislation or foreign or U.S. policy towards another country. He was hired as a political consultant for a U.S. citizen of Ukrainian descent. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You know? Yeah, and this question about did you benefit from your name? You know, I want you to think about this. You know, this free pass love fest that they're giving Hunter Biden on Good Morning America with this very corrupt couple of deals with China and the Ukraine. I still call it the Ukraine. It was the Ukraine when I was growing up. It's not Ukraine, it's the Ukraine. But could you imagine if this was Don Jr. and everything else was the same? If Don Jr. was on the board of a company making millions of dollars while his father was president, what would they do? You know what they would do to Don Jr.? They would put him in jail. There wouldn't be any softball interviews. They would be camped out wherever he was. They'd be following his kids and his ex-wife and Kim Guilfoyle around till they led them to him, and then they would ambush him with questions. And Hunter Biden, they don't seem interested in that. They sit down with a softball interview that they didn't have to seek out. They just told him it would be a softball interview. Don't worry, just come and do it. Get yourself cleaned up, get your teeth whitened, and come on in, which is what they did. If this were Don Jr. or Eric Trump, they would put them under the jail. The government would stop. You know, there would be the president would not be able to run for re-election probably, and not be run out of office for it. Joe Biden's son does it. Oh, you know, oh, okay. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, we'll take your word for it. But your dad said that the person that said you did no wrong, the dad got him put, don't worry, we did nothing wrong. The prosecutor said I did nothing wrong. Yeah, the corrupt prosecutor that your father put in place? Yeah, but that's okay. He's the prosecutor there. And he said we did nothing wrong. I mean, it's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And it's amazing that any Republican can get elected to be dog catcher when you look at the double standards. You know, if you are a Republican, you have to be, not only do you have to be a perfect person, everyone you come in contact has to be a perfect person. You know, we were, look at what they did because Donald Trump took a photograph with Stormy Daniels. People take photographs with celebrities all the time. I've taken photographs with celebrities. You know, that's what happens. You meet a celebrity, you take a picture with them. You try to get a selfie with them, right? Even before selfies, you would take a picture with a celebrity. You'd find a camera, and you would do it, right? Now, all of a sudden, if you're a celebrity, and your name's Trump, and you take a photograph with somebody, they can say anything about you. Or if someone rents a meeting room at your hotel golf resort in Miami, Doral, you're responsible for everything that they show on video and their meeting in your conference room. Are you kidding me? But if you're a Democrat, you can get involved in, you can sell your high office for billions of dollars to the Chinese. You can sell your influence as a federal official to the Ukraine for millions of dollars, and it's okay. It's okay. You can get the prosecutor who's trying to root out the corruption and plug in your own prosecutor to clear you, and that's okay. It's amazing. What conservative would run for public office? I mean, you're totally hopeless if you're running for public office. All right, hey, it's 8 o'clock in the morning almost. Oh my goodness, the show is yesterday's show flew by. Today's show's flying by. We only have one more hour to go. Man, we've talked about a lot today. Covered quite a bit, and I'll do a little bit of review on Project Veritas because that's got to be talked about, and maybe the ABC story, and bring up some other things too we have not touched on yet. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back for the third and final hour right after this.
70 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. With the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin.
Yeah, I got that one.
Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Are you tossing and turning in bed all night long? Do you wake up tired and groggy? Your days of not sleeping well at night are over with MyPillow. I sleep on a MyPillow. My wife sleeps on a MyPillow. Steve Kane sleeps on a MyPillow. And we are all getting the best night's sleep we've ever had. And you will too with your MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com and take advantage of the 2 MyPillows for the price of 1 special when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. But you got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com.
This is Roger Simon, reverse mortgage specialist at South Florida's Choice Mortgage Bank. I've found that reverse mortgages can be a very valuable financial vehicle for seniors. I truly change their lives for the better. In fact, I have a reverse mortgage myself, and it's certainly improved my life. Everyone's situation, of course, is different, but I've found over and over that a reverse mortgage can solve many of a senior's financial problems. It's a valuable tool to allow you to age in place. And if you're a senior like me, that's a primary goal. By aging in place, I mean that you're financially able to stay in the home you love for the rest of your life. So if you own your home with or without a mortgage, and if you want to know how a reverse mortgage can change your life by giving you the financial freedom you need, find out how by giving me a call anytime at 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. I look forward to hearing from you.
Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166254. Attorney Barry Siegel invites you to his Medicaid and Revocable Living Trust workshops Tuesday, October 29th at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. The first workshop is at 10. That's the Medicaid Planning Workshop, where you will learn how planning ahead can protect you from running out of money before you run out of life. You will learn how to avoid spending down your assets and avoid nursing home seizure of your assets, and much, much more. The Revocable Living Trust workshop is at 2, where you will learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. The workshops are free, but seating is limited, so please call Attorney Barry Siegel's office for a reservation. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE.
What's going on?
1-855-352-3782. The Courtyard by Marriott is on Glades
Well,
Road in Boca, just west of I-95.
You should call your doctor
on the north
now.
side of Glades
Get in.
Road. The
You
Medicaid
should go there
Planning
from here.
workshop is at 10. The
You know what I mean?
Living Trust workshop is at 2. Call Barry Siegel's office
priority
right
number
now
1.
and make your reservation to these free workshops. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights, midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. To call the show toll free, 1-888.
All right, third and final hour has begun. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, I was just looking at President Trump's Twitter during the break, and the top three tweets. This is one of the days where the media, they're not interested in Trump's Twitter. They're always going to his Twitter. What did the president have on Twitter today? Today he has 3 stories, boom, 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 and they're not talking about his Twitter, and they're not showing his tweets. Starts at the bottom. Shifty Schiff. You have to say that slow because you can get in a tongue twister and say that another word. Now seems to think they don't need the whistleblower. See, now they've said, you know, they can have an impeachment inquiry without talking to the whistleblower. And Trump says the whistleblower who started the whole scam. The reason is that the whistleblower has lost all credibility because the story is so far from the facts of the transcript. And it comes out now that 11-hour witness did not even work at the White House and didn't hear the call, only heard about the call, and she's an ex-employee of the White House, not some top advisor, but they interviewed her for 11 hours in the closed-door hearing that they didn't want us to see, which is outrageous. Here's his next one. A big scandal at ABC News. They got caught using really gruesome fake footage of the Turks bombing in Syria. A real disgrace. And tomorrow, that's today, they will ask softball questions of sleepy Joe Biden's son, Hunter. Like, why did Ukraine and China pay you millions when you knew nothing? Payoff? They don't seem too interested in Trump's Twitter today, do they, in the media? And then here's the third one. Project Veritas obtained undercover videos highlighting Jeff Zucker's campaign to destroy Trump. Video reveals CNN bias. Okay. Lots of stuff's going on here. And I just read a story here during the break about Fox News. Now, I was talking earlier in the show, I think it's going to be Wednesday. Tucker Carlson is interviewing Megyn Kelly on his show. And I believe that Fox News is having Megyn Kelly on Tucker Carlson's show Wednesday night to test audience reaction to it. They want to look at the numbers, and they want to look at the online reaction. They're thinking of bringing back Megyn Kelly. They might have already made the decision to bring back Megyn Kelly. And they're talking about plugging Megyn Kelly into that Shepard Smith slot is probably what's going on. All of a sudden, Shepard Smith unexpectedly quits, and they've got Megyn Kelly on here. Let me tell you, put her on. I'm not going to watch it anyway. But that's what's going on here. It's a test. And then, listen to this. A new report, this is in the Daily Caller, which is Tucker Carlson's online news outlet. I tell you, Tucker, Tucker's rich, okay? His stepmother is the heiress to the Swanson TV dinner fortune. And I know TV dinners aren't a big thing anymore, but they used to, and Swanson's is still out there, okay? So he's got money to burn. He's throw it up in the air. He doesn't care, He could sleep on money, but he probably sleeps on a MyPillow like most wise people do. But, he got, Tucker Carlson is really going for it here. Tucker Carlson got rid of Shepard Smith. I was talking about this yesterday. Shepard Smith quit because of Tucker Carlson. And now what he... Oh, well, you weren't here. It was on yesterday's show. I was talking about it. But yeah, so he quit because Tucker Carlson was attacking Shepard. I'm not going through the whole thing because I talked about it for an hour yesterday, but I'll just give you a quick review of it.
Let me jump in here.
Yeah. Steve's just getting here.
Today.
Steve's under the weather.
Over the flu.
Steve's under the weather, people.
I figured I'd give it a shot. I'm just saying, in watching everything else on television, I hadn't heard.
Yeah, because they don't want to break news. They cover up news. What happened was, Shepard Smith signed a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract in March, and then he quit unexpectedly. And he quit. Cavuto learned about Shepard Smith quitting live on the air. He didn't know about it, and his show comes on after. He was stunned. About 2 weeks ago, Tucker Carlson attacked Shepard Smith on the air by name pretty harshly. And I was talking about it at the time.
Remember what he said?
He was attacking, so it had something to do with this conversation with Napolitano. Don't remember the details. And he quit unexpectedly, and I believe he quit, and I'm not the only one, others believe this too. He went to management and wanted something done with Tucker. He wanted him gone. He wanted him to apologize on the air. He wanted Tucker Carlson to do something. He didn't get what he wanted, so he quit like a fool. And they're talking about plugging in Megyn Kelly. I'm telling you, they're talking about bringing back Megyn Kelly to Fox News to replace Shepard Smith. But there are others that are gunning for it. Chris Wallace is gunning for it. I know this because Brian Kilmeade said some things on Twitter that led me to believe this. Now, listen to this. This is in Tucker Carlson's Daily Caller. So Tucker Carlson is kind of like, we've got this CNN whistleblower. Tucker Carlson has become the Fox News whistleblower. This is in Tucker Carlson's thedailycaller.com, his online news outlet. A new report about the relationship between Donald Trump and Fox News alleges that host Chris Wallace and Martha MacCallum criticized and mocked President Trump during a closed-door meeting last month. Bret Baier was also in attendance. It was a private meeting with Fox News advertisers. It was written about in the New York Times as well. And this is what the Times reported. It's reprinted in today's Daily Caller. Contrary to the opinion, this is what Martha MacCallum said to advertisers. Bret Baier was there. Chris Wallace was here. This is the first part is Martha MacCallum talking to advertisers in a closed-door meeting. There's no audio or video of this, but there's a transcript. Contrary to the opinion of some people, he, that's Trump, is not our boss, Ms. MacCallum said, marveling at Mr. Trump's criticism of Fox News for airing interviews with Democratic presidential candidates. It's kind of shocking to hear that that's why he thinks about how we should cover the election. Chris Wallace joked about the president's tendency to compare him unfavorably to his father, the 60 Minutes legend Mike Wallace, who died in 2012. He often likes to say about me, I was covered by Mike Wallace. I liked him much more, Mr. Wallace told the advertisers, to which my reaction always is, one of us has a daddy problem, and it's not me. I don't know. I think it's you because you're throwing your legendary father under the bus. Chris Wallace, you're only on the air because of that. You haven't done anything other than you're like you're the Hunter Biden of Fox News, okay?
I like that.
Yeah. And it goes on and on. So here we've got, a lot of people were doing victory laps when Shepard Smith quit. And I was telling you guys yesterday, they're just going to plug in some other Trump-hating liberal jerk. So right now,
Well, they have to.
Well, the Tucker Carlson, the Shepard Smith slot, there's two people competing for it right now, Chris Wallace and Megyn Kelly. And what will determine they may have already made a deal with her, but what will determine whether Megyn Kelly gets it or not very well may be the reaction after this interview that Tucker Carlson does with her Wednesday night.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's make you the program director, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you not agree that a good program director would be putting a person in that slot that had the same politics as Shepard Smith?
No, I would find somewhere, I don't know who, I don't have a name, and it doesn't have to be somebody that's on TV on one of the cable outlets now, but I would find someone who is a real news person, who is known, a name that has a reputation of being a real hard, honest news person, broadcast, and put them on in that slot. I don't have
any names come to mind.
You know who I like at Fox? If I was picking someone at Fox, Trace Gallagher, he used to be on during the day. They gave Megyn Kelly his show, but I would find someone that's like news anchor quality person. Like for the nightly news type person, I would put them on in that slot. Yeah. I wouldn't put someone there that's going to piss off half the audience because Megyn Kelly will do that. And you know what? Chris Wallace will do the same. It's just more guys will watch because, she has that transparent desk.
I must admit, if you put somebody, and where my politics are no secret, if you put somebody in there that's basically positively oriented towards Trump,
no, I wouldn't do that.
Really
I wouldn't do that. I would put a real news person there. Like somebody who has a reputation of being a news person that people know, people trust. It would have to be someone from...
Go to Bret Baier.
No. I wouldn't. I'm not talking about within. I'm talking
would
about...
you consider him in
No.
the category of what you're talking?
No, he's already there, and he's got that primetime slot. I wouldn't... No, it would be somebody outside of Fox. It would be somebody outside of Fox, and it would be someone that if they became like the NBC nightly news anchor, you would say, okay, they seem like an anchor. Somebody that has that kind of on-air presence, an anchor-like person. That's what I would do. I wouldn't put, if you put Megyn Kelly on and or Chris Wallace on, you're going to immediately piss off half the viewers of Fox News, at least. Yeah. So, but it's going to probably be one of them. And, she left NBC a long time ago. Her non-compete is probably either up or about to expire. And Brian Kilmeade put out a tweet over the weekend. And he said, would you watch a show co-hosted by me and Chris Wallace? So then, I thought Brian Kilmeade was gunning for that slot. But it's Chris Wallace who wants the slot. And he, just because yeah.
Chris Wallace is detestable.
Yeah. And the Hunter Biden of Fox.
Although he doesn't own it, but
oh, yeah.
Very anti-Trump.
I don't know. But Napolitano. Now if you guys have any ideas, and I'm not talking about, these are some names I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear Mark Levin. I don't want to hear Eric Bolling, and I don't want to hear anyone that is on Fox currently, okay? We're talking about programming this 3 o'clock Shepard Smith vacancy. They're talking about either Chris Wallace or Megyn Kelly. I think they want Megyn Kelly, but they're testing the waters with the Tucker Carlson interview. That's why they have her on her old time slot on that network on Wednesday night. Who would you plug in there? I don't have a name. I'll think about it, see if I can come up with one. Maybe you guys have some names. But I'm thinking somebody that has a reputation of being a news person, someone that has credibility. I'm not saying someone that's conservative or liberal. I'm just saying someone that if they became like a Connie Chung type person, somebody like that, that's the type of person I would think of plugging into that. If you guys have any suggestions, give us a call, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. No, not Matt Lauer. No, not Matt Lauer. It has to be somebody that's realistic and credible. Because, Shepard Smith, when he first started doing that show, he used to do it with the NFL commissioner's wife, Jane Skinner, was kind of like the second banana on that. And it was like a real solid, hard news program. And I used to watch it, and it was good. And then he got full of himself and turned it into an opinion show. So we'll take our break. If you have some suggestions on who could fill in, give us a call, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
With diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life. And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to
Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show.
Now, Medicare recognizes the
importance turn off the audio in the back, all right? Hold on.
And has
Steve Kane Show.
Coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients.
Hey, Barry Siegel.
My good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled.
You should call the doctor now and get in there this morning. Okay.
With 3 custom
that way they might slip you in.
These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin.
The guy that does that media show on the weekend?
Amputation due to diabetes is preventable. And one of the preventable measures
he used to do the show years ago. I can't remember. But he's like retired.
597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com.
Yeah, somebody like that, yeah. I can't think of his name.
Tell him Steve Kane.
We got the guy, we just don't know.
No, Steve's sick. He's not okay. He's going to go to the doctor this morning.
Go easy on your budget.
I was telling him to call the doctor now.
Friendly Tire of
They'll slip you in.
Where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't.
Why not? I mean, you're just sitting there.
Tires for a Sienna van at the
you got a chance of getting slipped in if you call early.
A tire. At Friendly
you know what I mean?
Just $75 a tire. Tires for my
I say,
car,
if you call now, they might slip you in.
Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free
just show up at the doctor
and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too. At
Take 5 minutes
for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire.
Okay.
Tell him what you drive, and he will give you a great low price right over the phone.
I can't think of his name. After Barry, we'll ask.
954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just
All right, welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. And on the line, we have our estate planning attorney, Attorney Barry Siegel. And I got to tell you, the phone's exploded, and I've lost track of who's on what line. So, yeah, so I don't know which line is Barry for sure, so I'm just going to take a guess and find out. Barry? Oh, boy, I'm going to play roulette on the cruise next month, because that's good. I just took a guess.
Good morning, Barry.
Oh, man.
I'm semi-recovering from a flu, but I figured I'd give it a try.
All right. Make sure you take good care of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I know I always do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, well, you know, you've got your workshops are coming up, Barry, right around the corner.
So, yeah, the next ones are going to be in Boca Raton 2 weeks from today. So you have 2 weeks to get ready and get prepared. All you really need to do to get ready and get prepared is call our office and get your spot or your spots reserved. And that's very easy. Just call our office and we'll be happy to get you set up for information about how they can protect their assets, and they had no idea that they could do this. They didn't think they would be eligible, and so it's really important information to know. It could be the difference between protecting everything and losing everything for you and your family. And then in the afternoon, we're going to go over everything you need to know about living trusts and estate planning to protect yourself and your family. And we see people all the time that have things done incorrectly. I had a guy come in yesterday, had about $3 to $4 million estate, and he had an old will done by an attorney who was just an attorney who was a friend who didn't practice in the area of estate planning. Just had an old will laying around and helped them out, but didn't really help him out. He ended up with a will, which is his ticket to the probate process. If he had passed away with a will with that size estate, he would have been looking at sizable probate, excuse me, and a whole lot of.
Yeah, well, that attorney that put the will together, though, he would have been doing very well, probably with those probate fees. Yeah.
So if you come on the 29th to the afternoon workshop on living trust, you'll learn about everything you need to know about avoiding probate. Broward County, and Boca's too far.
That's it.
We have
Bridgeham.
our Broward County.
Yeah. Yep. Well, listen, call Attorney Barry Siegel's office, make a reservation for these no-charge workshops. The reservation is just so they know, how many seats, how many tables, and how big of a room that they need. And the number is listed at stevekaneshow.com if you miss it right now. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-352-3782. All right, Barry, we'll talk later in the week.
Take care, my friend.
Oh, yes, just keep breathing that way. I'm going to close the window. I don't want to get...
We figured out who should get this Sharon Smith slot.
Yeah.
Brett Hume.
That's a good pick. Someone like Brett Hume.
There is no one else really that I can think of like Brett Hume. He's kind of one of those established.
Yeah, he hates Trump though.
Neutral. You think so?
He now when he's on now, he's like a pundit for opinion. If he was back to a news show, he might hide that opinion and do. I like Brett Hume. Brett Hume's claim to fame: he was the Fox News White House correspondent when Clinton was president, and he was the first member of the White House press corps to ask Bill Clinton about Paula Jones when that was a big thing. So, yeah, somebody like Brit Hume that has, like, credibility as a newsman.
Not biased. He's not a biased
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, you want to take some calls?
Sure, let's
All right, you're on the radio. Good morning.
How about El Rantel?
Oh, my goodness. And then he held online for like 15 minutes for that? Come on. And then, and did you hear what the guy did? Then he turned up his radio to try to hear himself, you know? But there's a delay of 15 seconds. I should dump it, but I'll let him hear himself. No, Brit Hume's a good. Somebody like Brit Hume is what I'm talking about. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm very concerned for what's going on here. I think the country is in tremendous danger, and I think people...
Because the media.
I don't think they... Well, because of the alliance between the media and the Democratic establishment, they have really pulled off a coup here, and
they're trying.
Well, yeah, but they're more successful than I would have ever thought. I mean, the key to focus on here is the Republicans. Forget the Democrats. The Republicans are sitting on their heads. Crickets. That's what I worry about. The cricket club in the Republican Party. Nobody is really coming for. There are a couple of people, you know, the
Yeah.
core guys.
Yeah.
But nobody's really coming forth and saying that this is a coup. It is plain and simply, and right now it's too early to tell if it could be successful. I never would have dreamed it could be successful.
Yeah.
And the only thing that stands between us and them, in fact, one of the reasons I came in today, a little under the weather, is I feel people got to start focusing on this. If the Republicans don't get their act together and stand up and get rid of the crickets, this country could be in real trouble. And I don't even want to think at this point, I don't even want to think about what would happen if they were successful in pulling this thing off.
They're not going to be successful. It's a total failure.
So. I never would have thought so, but when I look at the Republican crickets out there,
well,
it scares
I don't know. You know, this...
They should be lined up outside the hearing room doors, banging on the doors.
That Matt Gaetz guy went in there yesterday and they threw him out.
All right, that's one.
Yeah.
There should be, the whole party should be there.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. Steve Kane Show.
They're not is astounding to me. I'd like to hear from our listeners. I'd like to hear what you think. Am I the only one that's scared to death here? I have a tendency.
Oh, I'm not scared. We're on top of the world right now.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, let's take a call or two. All right, you're on the radio.
Yeah, how about the...
That's a good one.
If you're thinking about bringing back that woman...
That's a good one.
Bring back Bill O'Reilly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Bill O'Reilly's a good one.
I don't know what the legal implications of that would be with his record.
Oh, yeah. They had a sex problem there.
That is
No, Bill O'Reilly would be perfect. He would be a perfect choice to put in that 3 o'clock slot. Yeah, that's a good one. That's better than Brit Hume.
I agree.
Yeah, take care, man. That's a great one. But they're thinking Megyn Kelly or Chris Wallace, and they may even have some type of pairing. What you're going to see now is a bunch of fill-in people. Don't worry about that.
Those are all auditions.
Yeah, and they're auditions that aren't going anywhere.
Some of them are performer.
Yeah, they're not. The auditions that'll go on are not the real play. It's either between. It's like I remember when Selena was. They were casting that movie Selena, and the story was that they were casting in shopping malls across the country, and then J-Lo got the job. You know, they didn't find her at the shop. They knew J-Lo was getting the job. That was a publicity stunt. You know, it's just the auditions are just to make people feel good in publicity. It's either Chris Wallace or Megyn Kelly right now, unless when Megyn Kelly is on with Tucker Carlson this week, there is such an overwhelming negative response from Fox News viewers that they say this is going to be too hot, we can't do it. But I don't know if they care about the viewer. I think Fox News takes the viewers for granted at this point because they figure, where are you going to go? MSNBC? CNN? They got nowhere else to go. But this Project Veritas is huge. I mean, they got the part 2's coming out today. You know, and that Project Veritas video yesterday was devastating to CNN. It was devastating. You know, they can, you know, the media aren't even really, Fox News last night with Hannity did talk about it. But during the day on Fox, I didn't even hear it mentioned during the daylight hours. Did you? Were you watching Fox? I didn't see it. And that Project Veritas was his biggest scoop since Acorn. No question about it.
I mean, we've talked about this off the air. It doesn't.
It's huge.
What did we learn that we didn't know?
No. We learned a lot. We learned what the speakerphone meeting, the phone conference that Zucker, the head of CNN, had is their daily 9 a.m. editorial meeting, and he's acting as editor-in-chief. And we know from that video yesterday how the morning news meetings go. And there's no stories, there's no news stories, no stories are pitched or discussed. Jeff Zucker comes in and says, talk about impeachment. I don't care what the news is. I don't care what the other stations are doing. It's impeachment, because he's got a beef with Trump. And to hear Zucker say that with his own voice is pretty powerful. And they interviewed all these CNN workers they caught him on hidden camera. And they all said that they're sick of the situation there, that they can't cover news because Zucker has a personal vendetta against Trump. To hear that from their own mouths and from Zucker is pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. I mean, they got a lot of explaining to do, and then and you know how
a lot of explaining.
Yeah, a lot of explaining to do, and you know what James O'Keefe does. He starts low and builds up, and then he has a grand finale, and it's just going to get worse for Zucker, you know. And that was pretty brutal yesterday, that phone conference meeting, because it wasn't him saying, oh, and this happened today, or that's going on today, or last night this happened, who's covering that? It wasn't any of that. It was, okay, it's impeachment, you're here to screw Trump today, we're bringing Trump down, do it. That's what it was, and it's malpractice, it's unethical.
Okay, I don't like raining on our own parade, but
That was big, and then it came out yesterday that the questioner at the Elizabeth Warren Gay town hall was one of her donors, and that she had this high point of the whole town hall with a zinger answer with a donor question that was prepared and rehearsed probably by her. CNN took two big blows yesterday to their credibility. I mean, it's stuff that we suspect, but when you have it confirmed and you have things, basically that's like testimony in a court of law almost. It's almost like Zucker was giving a deposition against himself and his own organization.
But where are the Republicans? That's what I want to know. When are they going to stand up? Okay, time for a break. We'll be right back.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. Visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Attorney Barry Siegel invites you to his Medicaid and Revocable Living Trust workshops Tuesday, October 29th at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. The first workshop is at 10. That's the Medicaid Planning Workshop, where you will learn how planning ahead to protect you from running out of money before you run out
Steve
of
Kane
life.
Show.
You will learn how to avoid spending down your assets and
Steve Kane
avoid
Show.
nursing home seizure of your assets, and much, much more. The Revocable Living Trust workshop is at 2, where you
Steve
will
Kane
learn how
Show.
to avoid losing an inheritance to predators like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. The workshops are free, but seating is limited. So please call Attorney Barry Siegel's office for a
Steve Kane Show.
reservation. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782. The Courtyard by Marriott is on Glades Road in Boca, just west of I-95, on the north side of Glades Road. The Medicaid Planning Workshop is at 10. The Revocable Living Trust Workshop is at 2. Call Barry Siegel's office right now and make your reservation to these free workshops. 1-855-FLA-ESTATE. 1-855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Oh, boy. All right, you want to take some calls? Yeah. All right. I hope you're feeling better tomorrow. All right, let's see here. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. 3 things. Firstly, Steve, just show up to your doctor. When I was sick, I just showed up there, and they had no choice but to see me. Secondly, there was pictures circulating yesterday of Jeff Zucker's ex-wife, Karen Zucker. She was pictured with Ghislaine Maxwell, who was related or tied to Jeffrey Epstein. So you don't know if there's something with that related to Trump, because Trump is going after pedophiles and all of that. So that's another angle.
Like what?
Look at.
Wait. Tell me, like, what are you envisioning here?
I'm thinking Trump Zucker may be something to do with the Lolita Express. You don't know what's...
No, what's going on with Zucker... this is what's going on with Zucker. Well, before you get to the third thing, let's just talk about Zucker, because slow down, because I don't want to lose Zucker and Veritas. What every person that worked at CNN that was caught on the hidden camera said is that something happened with Jeff Zucker and Trump during the Apprentice days, and he's got a personal beef with something that happened then. We don't know what it is, and he is on a vendetta against Trump for something that happened then at NBC. Yeah, come on. All right, what's your third thing?
And not
I would say,
throwing people out.
How can we sit still for that?
Well,
I just don't understand it.
That's the kind of thing that happens like in third world countries. He's a sitting member of the United States House of Representatives. He can go wherever the hell he wants in that building. He has security clearances as well, I'm sure. With the job he has. I have never heard of a sitting member of the House of Representatives being tossed out of a House hearing of any kind.
How can he do
Never.
Does he have the authority to do that?
Well, he did it. He's the committee chair. I don't think he does. But Schiff has gone really rogue here, and
but where are the Republicans?
Yeah, well, and the story was, the story's out there, but it's kind of mild, I think. I don't think it was put in proper perspective.
I mean, the hearing should be brought to a close. I mean, they should be, I don't know. I mean, I think it's being basically downplayed. I don't understand why. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
They're going to have to bring in military, because this is.
Well, at some point, I mean, I don't see that happening this week. But
well, how about have a Speaker of the House? How about that?
But if something happens that with this phony, they try to carry this thing through, this phony impeachment deal.
Yeah.
I don't think the public, at a certain point, the public won't stand.
Well, this thing with Gates yesterday, next to Veritas and that ABC fake news story was probably that was the biggest story out of Washington yesterday. And it's being reported a little bit, but it's not being put in the proper context. He is not a member of the audience or a staffer. He is a sitting member of the House of Representatives. And to my knowledge, that has never happened before. And by the way, if it was a Senate hearing, it would be bad, but he's not part of that body. He's a part of that body. He should be, he's got to have security clearance. There's no way he doesn't have security clearance.
Called the office and left a message. I said, you keep fighting, go in there and fight for us.
I wish he was my congressman.
I don't see anybody fighting. I don't see anybody.
I called them, and I said,
she's fighting.
Going in there, because we're going to lose this country.
No, you know, what's going on in this smoke-filled back room of a Schiff hearing is craziness. This is nuts. And
the Schiff hearing is not what disturbs me.
Well, that's what they threw him out of.
Is the reaction to
yeah, there's no reaction.
The fact that that people are in outrage.
And there was a second thing that came out I was talking about earlier, and this may be one of the whistleblowers, we don't know. The Schiff committee questioned for 11 hours this woman who didn't even work at the White House and didn't hear the call.
What they're doing is collecting all of Trump's enemies. You know, first of all, half the people that work at the White House are holdovers from the Obama days that hate Trump.
Yes.
And what they're doing is collecting all his enemies and making them testify like they are factual and impartial.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Soros associate, and Roger Stone 2 years ago warned everybody about her. He had the scoop on her a couple years.
Well, I would like. I'm assuming Trump knows what Zucker's beef is with him, and everyone at CNN said it's a personal thing that happened on The Apprentice. I'd like to know what it is. All right, thanks for your call. I agree with some of what she said at the end, but some of it a little bizarre there. But no, this thing is coming apart for Schiff.
I don't see it.
It will. He can't. What he's doing, it will.
That's two different things you said. When you say it will, what you're saying that I agree with is it's not coming apart.
Throwing out Gates was the beginning of the end for him.
Not based on the reaction I saw to it.
Yeah.
I didn't see any major player get up and
well,
yell.
Nancy Pelosi has given up control of her
What
party.
about a senator?
Yeah,
what about a senator standing up, a Republican senator?
Yeah, someone should stand up with him.
We can't get our own senators to stand up in an outrage like that.
Well, what the Gates should do is, I don't know if it was you or the caller that said it, but get together a group of Republican congressmen and all demand to get into the hearing. Bring the TV cameras. Bring bring Ducey or someone with them, and capture on camera them being removed from the room. And I think people need to see that. People need to see that. I mean, they're in Congress. They have a right to go anywhere they want in that building.
What is your feeling about the fact that it didn't happen like that?
Well, let's see what happens today. I think yesterday Gates was caught off guard. So sometimes things happen unexpectedly and you're like shocked and your reaction may not be the same. I would imagine he's going to be going back to a group with 50 guys. Yeah. He should be going back with 50 people or 100 and demand to be in there. They have classified clearance. They're
in private.
Yeah.
How are the American people going to stand for that? I mean, what's going on is so obvious that it's ridiculous. The thing is a show.
Yeah. Schiff is so corrupt. He's so corrupt. I don't know who's behind him.
I'll tell you, this does point to my age, but the thing I remember the most is back in the McCarthy. I was young enough. I was at Riverdale Country School, strange to say at the time. So I was in high school, I remember, and we were watching the McCarthy hearings during the day. I wonder if kids today in school would be watching the McCarthy hearings. I doubt it. But I don't know with the education we have now. But anyway, it's beyond belief.
Yeah.
And that's I remember there was a famous picture of McCarthy after he was censured in the Senate, walking out of the hall in disgrace. It was shot from behind, and he was kind of sagging and deflated because he'd just been censured. I remember that. I somehow don't see that happening with Schiff. I mean, I try to imagine it. I would like to believe it,
But that's how Schiff should end, exactly like McCarthy.
Yeah.
Because there are two peas in a pod.
I've never seen anything
They
like
were
this.
separated by half a century.
But McCarthy was a publicity whore. He was public, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Schiff, what he's doing is in a back room that's never been seen before.
Schiff is pretty camera obsessed. Let's take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when you and you. 50% less. Upgrade 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. Upgrade 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $18,775. Upgrade 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Seniors, is there too much a month left at the end of your money? You have worked hard your whole life, and you shouldn't be struggling in your golden years. And you know what? You don't have to. Call Roger Simon.
Yeah, what you should do is you call that one doctor. If you can't get in, you go to the other guy.
Roger has a reverse mortgage himself and understands your needs. Use the
Right after the show. The other stuff, worry about that later. Doesn't have to be done right now. We can do it later today. That's more important. We can do all that on the phone. I'll call you later and give you the stuff.
The best part is, you and your spouse can live in the home you love for the rest of your lives without worry, without financial struggle.
It's better than nobody, but you got to try to get into the other guy.
Simon right now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730.
Where's the office at?
561-441-2730. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender, NMLS.
That's the primary. Both are there?
Same area.
Well, what I mean is, the primary could get you into that guy. If you can't, is what I'm saying. You can get him on the phone. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, we got 10 minutes. Hey there. Yeah, Youngerman. You can't. Oh, wait, come back. Youngerman's online.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
It's in there, but just...
All right, I'm looking for my book here and cannot find it. Okay, it is that time that you all wait for on the Steve Kane Show. Of course, we're talking about the Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman Inc. William, one of the leading experts in the world when it comes to the precious metals, and we have been privileged to have him here delivering his report for the last 17 years. But who's counting? And those of you who, like myself, have followed his advice, I don't have to tell you that he knows what he's talking about. Here he is today to give us an update on how things are opening this morning. William, how are you?
Great, Steve. How you doing?
Little bit of a flu, but other than that, fine.
Oh, well, speedy recovery there, man.
Yes.
Gold is recovering too. $3.70.
That's funny. That's funny.
Closed out yesterday up $3.70 after previously testing some lows and holding support levels around $14.85. We closed out yesterday at $14.9250. Silver gained 11 cents yesterday, closing at $17.62. Support seems to be around that $17.50 number. Platinum was down $3 at $8.91, while palladium was up $2 at $16.84. What's happening this morning? Gold's up 50 cents at $14.93. A challenge came up close to getting back up to $1,500 overnight, but still having some resistance there. Still strong support at $14.85 range. Silver down in nickel right now at $17.57 the ounce, while platinum's down $1 at $890. Big mover, palladium hitting $1,700 this morning, up $12 the ounce. First time we've seen that print in quite a while, or ever actually. New highs for palladium. That's pretty much where we are this morning so far.
All right, and what's your advice? A good time to move on any of these things?
Absolutely. We're still looking at gold having good ways to go. Silver very reasonably priced at these levels, and platinum still well under the gold price, which gives some good value there.
Now,
Palladium, we're still saying stay away from.
Palladium, stay away from. Too volatile. Tell the folks out there, a lot of people don't know it. Everyone knows you sell the precious metals. They don't realize, many of them, that you're a buyer as well. Tell them a little bit about that aspect of your business.
Sure. For over 50 years, we've made a good two-way market in both all of the precious metals, rare coins, rare currencies, etc., as well as jewelry and any form of the precious metals in its different forms. We also deal in watches, and you can simply bring anything in that you might have that has silver, gold, platinum, palladium in it, or anything, or collectible, and we'll be glad to give you a free appraisal to Steve Kane listeners. So, and if you're interested in selling it, we pay cash on the spot. So it's very, very easy, and I'd love to accommodate anybody that's looking to liquidate some things, maybe for the holidays, or things that you're not using anymore, or just broken jewelry.
Exactly right. Well, there you have it. If you're a local person, I mean, you live in South Florida, the main office, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton. That's the Bank of America building. You'll find William on the first floor, directly across from the bank. And you want to reach him by phone, 1-800-327-5010. And, of course, the internet, great website. Go visit it at williamyoungerman.com. William, great talking to you, and we'll speak tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thank
you. You too, and we're back.
Oh, boy. Now, nothing to worry. Everything's coming apart for them. You have nothing to worry about.
We always, this is the same discussion we always have.
Yeah, but there's nothing to worry about. I mean, what Schiff is doing to me shows that he's got nothing and he's desperate, and he's trying to prolong things by doing it behind closed. If he had something, he would do it publicly. He wouldn't be doing things behind closed doors. He would want people to see what he has. Like this story that came out today, that they interviewed this woman for 11 hours, pushing her off in the media, someone who worked at the White House as a Russia advisor, and she quit, and she wasn't there, and she never heard the phone call. She just heard about it. Well, come on.
The media's not covering it, and nobody is.
Oh, we're the media. We're covering it.
Okay, all right, I forgot that.
No, if I know about it, that means people are covering it. I mean, I didn't go and uncover this story. I found it in the media, and the fact that I found it means it's out there. So, I mean, we're fine. We're fine. I don't have a single worry in my mind, at all. Trump's been cleared. He's done nothing wrong.
Well, whenever I look to lift my morale, I just view this thing in the context of a battle between Schiff and Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a no-brainer. I mean, Trump is the best. I mean, I've never...
Yeah.
I say this every time a crisis comes up. I've never seen a crisis that when it played out, he didn't come out on top of the conflict. I've never seen that happen once. Maybe this will be the first, but I got to tell you,
oh yeah,
massive
now
forces
yeah.
arrayed against him.
Now we are just over 3 weeks away from the Steve Kane cruise. We're Cayman Islands, Costa Maya, Cozumel out of Fort Lauderdale, and let me tell you this, okay? Because I know some of the people that are going. This is a great time to stop off at Dr. Mitch Matez's office. Take advantage of that free consultation, because if you're going on a cruise, not only do you want to feel good and look great, you want to have your sex drive and sex capabilities back too. A lot of people, especially if you're coming with a couple, But and Dr. Matez can help you out with that. You want to give Dr. Matez a call. Talk to him about hormone pellet replacement therapy. It's unbelievable. Hormone pellet replacement therapy. You hear me talk about it all the time. It does everything I say it does and much more in both men and women. His number is 561-953-5490, 561-953-5490. And it's a great time to go and take advantage of that right before you go on a cruise.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now me, I'm going with my daughter. So, but I'm a hormone pellet replacement guy. I'm going to be filled with energy. When we go to these Mayan ruins, I'm going to, if I can, climb the steps to the top of the Mayan pyramid.
Really?
If I can. I don't know how I'll get back down because I'm afraid of heights, but I'll climb up it. I'll be able to get up there with my hormone replacement pellet therapy. Are you kidding? Well, one thing I noticed with all the things I talk about with hormone replacement pellet therapy, one thing I noticed, as you get older, the heat bothers you like it doesn't when you're younger. Right. And with hormone replacement pellet therapy, that's a problem that I noticed disappears too. Because I would know, just going from the car to the house in the afternoon with the Florida humidity and heat could be a chore. But anyway, give Dr. Matez a call, 561-953-5490, and online hormone therapy, BocaRaton.com. No, there's nothing to worry about with this. Nothing to worry about.
I have to find a good cosmetic surgeon. I've decided maybe I'll have a little work. You can't do anything heavy on this.
You don't have time for a facelift or anything.
No. But the time has come. I mean, I haven't had work done. I mean, I've had some Botox, but we got to do a little touch-up job.
Like Botox and Juvederm fills and all that?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm going to give myself a treat.
Oh, for the cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I freaked my wife out because my wife had given me this Trump 2020 flag, which I might bring in here and put behind me here in the studio. And I told her I'm going to take it to the Mayan ruins, and I'm going to climb to the top and hold the Trump 2020 flag on top of the Mayan pyramid and have my daughter take it. But she said, I don't think you should take that flag into Mexico. I was like, But no, I won't. I was just kidding with her. I wouldn't take that flag into Mexico. But I'll tell you what, people have been joining us even in this last week. People have made reservations to join us on this cruise. Yeah. So,
nothing like waiting till the last minute.
Well, sometimes people get excited. This is a great time to do it. I don't know how many cabins are left on board. When I haven't talked to Ian this week. I talked to him last week. He told me it was filling up. But the importance of calling now is to make sure you can be in our dining with us, which is very important because the dining room is filled up, but we will make arrangements.
And a lot of the socializing does occur.
Oh, yeah, we have dinner together every night, which is spectacular. And, one thing, a lot of people don't know this. When you go on a cruise, you can order unlimited food. Do you know you can order at dinner every item on the menu? You could order 4 dinners we could order 10 dinners if you wanted, and they'll bring them to you.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. And
if I remember correctly, you can order in your cabin anytime you want.
On the last cruise, I did room service every morning for breakfast. Yeah, and they bring it to you in the fancy tray with that fancy silver lid, and out on the balcony on the ocean. Listen, give Ian a call at Cruise and Travel Depot. Join us, 561-244-5779. Again, it's important to do it now if you haven't already, mainly because, the ship is filling up, but the dining room has, once it's filled up, and we'll move things around to fit. I'll sit on a ledge, okay, so you can have a seat. 561-244-5779. Ian's number is listed at stevekaneshow.com if you miss it. But this is our biggest and best cruise yet. I'm really looking forward to it.
It will be fun.
Oh yeah, we got so many activities planned, and our sail away party on the bow of the ship with the ship officers as we leave. It's gonna be a good time. It's our third one. I can't believe it. The first one we did was like a long weekend because we'd never done anything like that before.
Time flies. Between them, it seems like we just got back from our last one.
Yeah, and when on the last cruise, which was almost a year and a half ago, because that was June of last year, and I remember we were a couple days out, and I ran into Richie, the bus driver, and he says, "You realize on the last cruise we were getting back at this time, and we were just getting,
Is Richie going to be doing that?
The blackjack seminar
seminar
on the second day, which is we leave on Friday. On Saturday, we have a workshop hosted by Richie the bus driver. He is going to teach you how to play and win at blackjack, and he's good. I was at the blackjack table with him. He pays for his cruises. He's in the profits. He makes money on top of buying the ticket. He makes money. He does so well in the casino. Oh. I saw it. I wouldn't believe it if he told me because he's kind of a, big mouth. But Richie's got a big mouth, But I saw him do it. It was amazing.
Well, that does it for today. We thank you for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow, same time, same station. Till tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. On behalf of Brian, I'm Steve. God bless America.
All right, guys, we'll see you then. Make sure you subscribe if you don't, all right? Subscribe.